And we're live. Don, my man, how you doing?
Good, Larry. How are you? Nice to see you alive and well.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. It's nice to see all of us in one piece. A
Yeah,
lot going on after a week away. So yeah, it's very nice.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, man, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. You got the Liam the pug with you?
yeah. He's by my feet sleeping. I would pick him up and show him to you guys, but I'm not that strong.
It's like dead weight.
Yeah, I mean, he only weighs like 30 pounds, but it's real shifty because it's a pug. So when I pick it up
Yeah,
this way, it all shifts that way. It's better just to leave that little guy alone. Liam,
yeah,
they're
man.
talking about you, buddy. So
Yeah, man.
he,
I've always wanted. I've always thought about getting a pug, man.
well, this is our second one. We had a puggle for a long time, and then he passed away, and then we got this one as a rescue, as a
Oh,
replacement. So yeah, the stubby nosed dogs are apparently our faves.
yeah, man. I mean, there's something else, dude. So, oh, it looks like people are starting to chime in. We got Sean, Cinephile Sanity. How you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. We also got Texas Russell. How you doing, good sir? And we got the other Russell. We got the two Russells.
Two Russells, no waiting.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice. Jim's lurking.
Jim's lurking.
Jim's lurking. Be on the
Yeah,
lookout
man.
for Jim.
You saw my door. It was
I was
like
gonna
moving
say
a
it's
little while
it's your
ago.
turn this time. He's gonna. Yep. You be on the lookout.
Yeah. TGIF, yeah, man, yeah. Thank God. Professor's here. Professor Macabro, how you doing, good sir? How you doing?
Greetings and salutations.
Anthony Jabot's here. How you guys doing? By the way, I'm up to 98 finally, and my Instagram is down right now. Oh wow, what happened?
Hmm.
Is that all the getting to 98, sifting through everything? And you let us
Maybe
know.
maybe
It's
he
interesting.
means maybe he means his Instagram is like ready for whatever. Like it's down. Like my Instagram's down. Yeah.
We also got Corey's here. How you doing,
Corey.
good sir?
Nice to see you,
Yeah,
Corey.
I was on Corey's channel last night. Sean and Texas and Russell, and there's a few people that came on. So thanks, guys, for coming on. And Don, oh yeah, that's right, Don was here too.
I popped in. I was cleaning the bathroom, so you guys kept me company. It was most YouTube videos you put on and they're done in 10 minutes, and you got to come back with like dirty hands and try to like start a new video. But I put you guys on. Yeah, you tried to do the pinky, and it sucks.
Like,
So I put you guys on. It was a nice podcast. I got to learn a little bit more about my guy. I've said it before. Corey's a great host. He's very
oh
even
yeah,
keel and cool, real smooth. Yeah, I like Corey. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was telling him last night. I mean, even though he was saying, I was like, oh, I just started out and everything. I was like, man, you do pretty good at the live streams and everything. I mean, you sound pretty solid and pretty natural.
yeah, for sure.
Sean saying hello to everybody. Now it's dark. He's saying, yeah, now it is dark.
He's lurking. He's
He's
lurking.
lurking.
He's lurking.
Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Anthony went to the library today. Oh, did you pick up
Oh,
anything?
see, that's good. I know Anthony had a falling out with his library. Well, he just wasn't going for a while. I don't know if he was punishing the people at the library or how that worked, but he'd taken some time off to get his head right from being at the library. So I'm glad to see you two have reunited.
Spicy Bouquet, how you doing, good sir?
My guy Reed Spicoli, nice to see you. He was in the chat as well last night, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, a lot of people showed up, man. That was cool. That's cool.
yeah, good turnout. Everybody loves Larry.
I don't know about that.
Come on.
It's like, oh.
Oh, finish your thought.
Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Jeff.
Yes, my
How you
God.
doing, good sir? Thanks for stopping by, brother. He was on Garrett's channel earlier. I tuned in for a little bit, but I couldn't really chime in because I was like doing stuff around here and stuff like that. But no, they were doing True Lies, man. I hadn't seen that one in a while. Yeah, yeah.
To tie it all together,
Mm-hmm.
the pug. I was on our friend Pugwall's channel this
Mm-hmm.
past week. He was watching the football game between between England and the Netherlands. So since I was a guest on his channel, I had to help him root on England. But I told him if at any point Jeff shows up, I will switch allegiances and root for the Netherlands and like that. So we're a total sellout. So
Oh Everybody saying hi to everybody. Mr. Dan
Mr.
is
Dan
here.
Pham.
Mr. Dan
Nice.
Pham, how you doing, good sir?
I didn't realize Mr. Dan's Pham was on here as well.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Thanks for coming by, sir.
That's a cool yellow shark you got there.
Right? Everybody saying hi to everybody. Got me an interview with the vampire on
VHS.
Oh, nice, nice.
Interview with the Vampire. You like Interview with the Vampire, Larry?
Yeah, I still have my old VHS of it.
I think I might as well.
I think I have the clamshell. Do you remember that one? It's like a gold clamshell. I have that version.
Nice.
And then I have the Snapcase DVD.
Yeah, I got the Snapper Case DVD as well. That's one of it. It's a really well-made vampire movie, but because it's kind of slow and romantic and historical, a lot of people lump it in as like it's got so many pretty boy stars with Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas, etc. that it kind of gets lumped in almost like a romance movie or something. But I find it to be right there with Coppola's Dracula. It's a good
yeah, I mean it's pretty
historical tale.
For it having the pretty boys of the time. I mean, it's still pretty gritty, man. I mean, it's still got some some graphic stuff to it. So I still like it way better than Queen of the Damned. Although I like the soundtrack for Queen of the Damned, but
Queen of the Damned's got a good soundtrack. Well, Kirsten Dunst kills it in an Interview with a Vampire. Yeah, she kind of steals the show as like sort of the bloodthirsty little kid. Like, it was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then just the tormented Brad Pitt, and just a lot of it, man. I'm surprised with the graphics. Like when they cut what's his name in half with the scythe towards the end.
Oh,
I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but yeah, like that effect, the way it looked, like that was pretty good. That was practical as well. The guy was in the floor, and you just had I always remember that part of that. And Texas Russell says Don is the man.
No, Russell's the man. Russell always got the best cult movies. He was watching Dinner in America the other night. I was like, this guy, he's got the best taste.
I haven't seen that one, man. Like I stopped into the chat just because I was getting ready to crash out and stuff like that. So it was nice to just jump in and say hi to everybody. And yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
He's always got the cool oddball ones that none of the rest of us are doing. When he had the Germs movie on the other day, I was like, he sold me. He sold me. It's just nobody knows what we do in secret. That's awesome.
And Corey said, "Oh, thanks, guys." Well, man, it's true. We're just telling the truth, man.
Yeah, you're doing a fine job over there. I had said before I'd kind of stumbled onto his channel because and been watching it a little bit more and more frequently, and I'm always impressed by him and the crew that he has on there, and just him and himself as a fine host.
Yeah, I mean, even then, it looks like Texas Russell. He chimed in. Corey is the Dan Rather of horror community.
There you go. Yeah, that's nice, solid, reliable. I like it.
There you go, Corey. The Dan Rather of the horror community.
Well, you got a blurb. You got a little splash star to go on the corner. The Dan Rather of the horror community.
It's like if you have a poster, that'll be like 5 stars. Dan Rather of the horror community. Texas hardcore Russell. Sean also says.
Oh, I was gonna say, Russell, put in the chat, Texas Russell. Let us know. Did you get through the hurricane? Okay, we were just discussing with my buddy Larry here about he was slightly in the path of it and got some residual electricity loss and rain and other stuff. So I was kind of wondering, make sure my guy Texas Russell's all right.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I asked him the other night on that live stream. I asked him if he was okay and everything, and he had mentioned something about it at the time. But yeah, definitely let us know if you've gotten anything, because I know people that had power and that they lost power, and I've known people that haven't had power ever since it happened. So definitely crazy times, man. Sean also says those interviews that Corey does can actually go by fast, even if it's pushing 3 hours. Yeah, man. Last night we hit 3 hours, and it just didn't feel like it, man.
Yeah, it's like a Charlie Rose interview. It was nice and in depth. You guys got to the bottom of it. You kept me company while I was scrubbing the bathtub. So nice.
It was like a Dan Rather interview.
Yeah, exactly. Dan Rather of horror.
Yeah. Patrick's here. Meow, hoot, hoot. Thank you for stopping by, good sir.
Nice to see you, Cheetah.
The horror YouTuber of the month.
Current YouTuber.
Marty.
That's the boy, horror tuber of the month, my man, Trash Picture Show.
How
Marty,
you
how you
doing,
doing, buddy?
Marty? Uh, I'm a talker. No, I mean, once we get going, it's. I mean, we're all, pretty much talkers. So yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel you, man. Like that's what I was saying. We definitely roll. It just starts rolling, man. Once we get going and stuff like that. Yeah, good times, man. So yeah, definitely. If y'all didn't check that out, anybody who hasn't checked that out, definitely check out that the live stream from last night. It was definitely a lot of fun. God, we talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, wide variety of conversation topics. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I was like, I was just like, wow, we're talking about anime now. We're talking about comedies. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah,
uh,
when it went from Caddyshack to Akira, I was like, these cats are covering it all, man. Like,
and then he says his birthday is in 41 days, and he's gonna be 41 in 41 days. Nice,
nice. Well, welcome
nice,
to episode 22, and I have a 22 tattoo. Well, I'll tie it together.
nice. There you go.
Numerology is also part of what we do here.
Mathematics, numerology,
Uh,
you name it, we got it, folks. Larry, you and me, NECA. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, man,
oh, you guys have
definitely.
NECA gripes? Oh, I
Yeah,
was unaware. Oh, wow. Well, I will be there for that one just to hear the gossip.
yeah, and I just caught it. I just caught something else too, like on my feed. So we'll get into that here in a bit. But let's see. I'll get back to the chat in a minute. So Don, anything new with you? And you watch anything you watched recently? Anything new come up?
Not really, but sort of.
Mhm.
I on last week's episode, I had mentioned I was coming down with a bit of a cold, and I'd found out I apparently contracted the COVID. So I was laying low all week. I didn't want to go anywhere because even though I was kind of doing all right, I was tired, but I wasn't, I didn't want to pass it on. So Amazon Prime and I think a few other channels have those live stations where they just play shows that constantly over and over. And one of the
Mhm.
channels they have is the Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks channels. So that was my company. I just put that on, laid in bed, and every now and then I'd wake up and watch a little bit of Mystery Science Theater. So
Nice.
yeah, between that and Riff Tracks, that kept me company for a good 2-3 days. I'm pretty sure the dog is very much in love with Tom Servo now. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm the same way, man. Like, I can throw on. I mean, even they're on Tubi. They have a bunch of those riff tracks and MST
mhm.
ones, and they have good ones, man. They got like Final Justice, you know, Manos, Hands of Fate. They got a bunch of them, a bunch of classics. Overdrawn at the Memory Bank with Raul Julia. That one's another great one. Classic,
I don't
super
think I've seen
hilarious.
that one.
You haven't seen that one? Oh man, it's so funny.
Mm.
Uh,
Um,
but no, I know what you mean. I can throw that on or and just kind of chill out, man, and just
well,
relax.
the design of it is you don't have to follow the narrative. Like you can
Mhm.
literally watch 10 minutes and then wander away for an hour and come back and you didn't miss nothing because it's just the way the stream of the show works. So,
Right.
especially when you're fading in and out of consciousness and sleeping, you wake up and it's like, oh, here's another good one. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, but that's cool. I'm glad that I'm glad that you sound like you're feeling better. So I'm
Yeah, I'm shaking it off, but yeah, I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll put on a movie this afternoon, or maybe I'll get caught up on well, what's it called, Game of House of Dragons or whatever, the Game of Thrones spinoff. I kept thinking I would do that, and instead I just sort of left that Rift Tracks or MST3K on constantly. It just played on a loop over and over, no matter what time, day or night. It was just on. I didn't have to press
yeah,
any
man.
buttons. It was
Comfort
perfect.
food.
Yeah.
It's definitely comfort food, just like Kids in the Hall for me. I can
Oh,
either one of those. I can put those on, and then I can just drown out and just like chill, man. And I'll
for
just be
sure.
happy. Just be happy. It takes me back to a simpler time.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Hit the nail right on the head with that one.
Yeah, the only thing I watched, I started watching the 2009 My Bloody Valentine. So far, I like it. The effects are pretty cool. I need to finish watching it. The other major thing I saw, I guess major, I saw Triple Xmas,
Oh,
and yeah, that was that was pretty good, man. It's funny.
and
Uh,
that's not a porn.
No, it's
No,
not.
no.
It's
Okay.
not. I mean, so the premise, if y'all haven't heard of that movie, um, it's basically like Santa Claus, goes and kills a bunch of people on a porn set. So I mean,
Well, there you go.
there's a lot of nudity in it, and I was forewarned, like I was warned beforehand, like, oh, there's a lot of nudity in it, and I was like, okay, and I was watching it, I was like, huh, there is a lot of nudity in it, but
I was
it's also it's cheesy, it's schlocky, it's fun. I mean, it's fun, it's a fun film.
When I first heard the title, I was hoping that Santa Claus went and killed Vin Diesel as the famous world spy, that Triple X. Like I thought it was that one, but no, apparently not.
It's like or Ice Cube.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
they both battle Santa Claus.
My money's on Santa.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Always, always.
And
Mm.
no, Felicia Rose is in it. Who else? There's some other people that are in it, and Newt Wallen from Schlockenoff Films, he's in it. He has a small part in it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he was the one that he had posted it on his community tab that it was now, you can stream it online and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, man, definitely, I'll check it out. And
Where did you watch that at?
it was interesting because it wasn't on Tubi, and I think I sent you the link to it so you could check it out at some point. But it was something called Free something or another.
Freevee?
Uh,
No.
no, it wasn't Freebie. I think it was like Freedom, or I don't know. I have to go back and look, but I'll look back and I'll see. Oh, it's called Fossum.tv.
Hmm.
I never heard of
Nice.
that before. But yeah, you could. It was like you were able to stream it right there, like no problem. So
The streaming world wrestling away the attention span power from cable is impressive to me. Like just over the last 5-10 years, that's where all these have come from. Pluto, Freevee, Tubi,
yeah,
all of them, Plex,
yeah.
so yeah.
Crackle. I mean, Crackle. I feel like Crackle was like the first one, and
Mhm.
everybody else has done it better than Crackle.
Yeah, they kind of walked so the rest of them could run,
Yeah,
you know.
basically. And now, I mean, Tubi is a heavy hitter in my opinion. I mean, they have so much different stuff. So it's just crazy, man. How far they've come. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah, everybody in the chat, like, definitely check that out. If you're of age, obviously,
yeah.
we
Well,
don't condone underage.
yeah. So if Brody's in the chat, you're not allowed to watch. But other than that, no. But we like to support Schlockenoff Films over here. Newt's good people.
Definitely, definitely. So if y'all haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out his channel as well. Let me jump to the chat again real quick. Sean says that's the best parkour. You guys keep talking, going, and that's why it goes by pretty quick. Yeah, yeah, it really does. Russell saying glad to see you on Bones' channel last night. And were you on Bones' channel last night?
No, I think last night. Well, I was on a couple nights ago. We did. Oh, we watched Pearl. So I
Mm-hmm.
take that back. I did watch a new movie. I had seen Pearl this week. I see the old brain fry of half asleep watching. So I pre-watched Pearl on Monday evening, and then Tuesday night I was on there and we had watched it. This Tuesday we're gonna watch X, like we were talking about on last episode of In the House. With Maxine coming out, a lot of people need that refresher of those first two. So
Mm-hmm.
we're watching it the way you originally saw it, where we saw Pearl first and then jumping to X, and then hopefully we'll see Maxine. So, but then last night, I believe, with the passing of Shelley Duvall on the midnight hour, they watched The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it on for a little bit, but unfortunately, I had to listen to my guy and Corey. So I'll catch up on the midnight hour stream of Shelley Duvall.
Well, definitely, definitely much appreciated, brother.
Uh,
Yeah, speaking of, yeah, as y'all, most of y'all probably know, Shelley Duvall did pass away, and yeah, definitely, it's a bummer, man. It's
yeah. What's your favorite for her? It's got to be The Shining, right? I think that's everybody's The Shining or Popeye, right?
yeah. There was I remember. I think I saw The Shining first. If I'm remembering the timeline correctly, I think I saw Shining first, and then I saw Popeye, and it just like she was just amazing in The Shining. But I mean, if you when you hear the all the stuff that happened like behind the scenes and everything with her, it's like, man, it's such a bummer that that kind of led her to like not really want to do acting as much. I know she did that the fairy tale one. I can't
That's what
remember.
I was gonna say. But in my youth, I always equate her with being. I found out. I finally made sense of it after she passed away. I knew she had done the fairy tale one, um, fairy tale theater on
Hmm.
Showtime, but it ran for so many years, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was. Apparently, she did three of them. She did the fairy tale theater, and then like a year or two later, they brought it back and called it Tall Tales and Legends.
Oh
And
wow.
then, and then later on, she did a third installment of that type of anthology series called Bedtime Stories.
Hmm.
So that finally made sense in my head because I remembered like the Pecos Bill and the Annie Oakley and the Danny Glover was what's his name, the guy, the famous railroad dude. So I remembered that from as a kid because that was always on. It was one of the first like made for cable programs. Like it and Fraggle Rock are known as like the
Hmm.
early cable original programs. So I always think of her of that, and then like you were saying, the documentary about the making of The Shining. She's her real life, struggle is makes her a very compelling character. You're like, oh, Stanley, leave that poor woman alone. Like he's clearly trying to, like a coach. He's trying to manipulate her and get her to be what he needs her to be for the role, but she
Hmm.
just didn't seem like she was prepared for that when she took the job.
No, man. I mean, just hearing all that stuff is just it's rough. And then when once she disappeared and everything like that, and then I think like she was like pretty much a recluse, and then I think I saw like some interview, some YouTuber, like she was gonna do a movie or something like that. She was finally gonna come back like a couple of years back, and then I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but they did like a full on interview with her and everything, and she
I
was.
saw that same thing. I don't remember the guy's name, but yeah, him and his wife or girlfriend or
Hmm.
whatever travel around and talk to horror folks. And he had
Hmm.
tracked down Shelley Duvall, and that's how she got a lot of resurgence and attention. And then she was in that movie that came out last year, the something Hills, whatever. But
Yeah, it was
did you
good.
ever see Nashville, the Robert Altman film?
Mm,
Apparently, that's what a lot of people say. It's her best role, but Altman's a hard watch for me. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. But
I
I'd
don't
always
think I've
intended
seen
to
that
see
one.
Nashville. Hmm. Yeah,
I'll
that
have to look
with
it up.
with the retrospective of all the stuff after her passing away, that was one that people brought up a lot was their affection for Nashville. So
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. The main ones that I remember is Shining and Popeye for sure, and she was
Popeye,
great.
is there ever been a more inspired casting? Like if something's just dead on perfect, her as Olive Oil is about as perfect as anyone in casting has ever been. Like
Yeah,
that was amazing.
yeah. I mean, just you look at her, and it's like that's the embodiment of Ollie, the live action. That's
Yeah,
her.
the dark hair, the thin, tall, gaunt
Hmm.
build, even kind of the warbly voice when she speaks, like a almost unassured the way she speaks and stuff. Like it was just perfect Olive Oil. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, man, it's a bummer, man, because I was really hoping that she would have had a resurgence and she would have like started doing conventions and stuff. Because I would have loved to have like gotten to meet her and just to say like, hey, thank you for you know my childhood.
Yeah. Well, like
As
seeing how rough it was, like how rough Kubrick was on her, and that whole experience and how it soured her for making major motion pictures. It'd be nice, yeah, to like you say, see her get wrapped up in the convention scene where people just pour in all day long, telling her how great they think she is. It
Mhm.
seemed to me like she's a person who probably could have used that in her life. It's a
Yeah,
shame that she's going to get so much of her long overdue credit now that she's passed.
yeah, that was a man, and that she's not the only one that's passed like recently. There's been like several people that passed in the last couple of weeks. I heard that the kid from Alf passed away.
Hmm. I was
Like,
unaware.
yeah, apparently he died of a heat stroke in his car with his service dog.
Wow.
Yeah, like I didn't read the whole story, but I just saw like the headline. I was like, man, I'm like, that's oh man, that's rough, man.
Tragic. Yeah,
It's like all this
tragic.
crazy, it's like all this crazy stuff, man. It's like it's nuts. Like, sorry to the chat if we're bringing down the.
Yeah, everybody's all bummed out, like, man, what are you doing to us?
Dang
But no, I mean, stuff like that. It's one of those things where you're in your mind, you think of a person like that as a star because they were there, on TV in front of everyone, and then later on in life, if their career doesn't continue, which most people's careers don't, because it's just especially child stars,
it.
they sort of fade away, and you don't keep track of what happened to them and their different journeys.
Yeah, yeah, man. But you know, special shout out to Shelley Duvall, and hope
Yeah,
she's,
rest
hope
in
she's,
rest in power, Shelley. Rest in
yeah,
power.
yeah, definitely. Professor, let's get back to the chat a little bit. The professor says, "I would never have imagined you were a soccer flip flopper."
Hard to believe, isn't it? Hard to believe.
Soccer. When I was reading that, I was like, "Soccer flip flop," but
Yeah,
then flip flopper.
chancleta.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, chancleta. Um, no, those are deadly weapons when you're a kid, and in in border towns.
yeah, for sure. My lady friend's grandmother has like a house dress that's all just little flip flops all over
Uh,
it. So
you know,
if there was ever a more perfect dress for a grandmother to have, it's just covered in chancletas.
well, you know what that means, right? That means that those are like all the kills. You know how they do the
Oh, like on the side of where they just put
yeah.
up the different
Those are
things
all
they've
the
blown
ones that
up.
those are all the ones that she's like laid the law down on.
Uh-huh. Well, that's what I thought of as soon as I saw her. It'd be like the equivalent of some other woman having like AK-47 and M16 and Uzi, just like
Hmm.
a big gun shirt. Instead, it's just the little flip flops.
Yeah, it's like her trophy, or no, her medals, her medals of
Yeah,
honor.
like the ear, like Dolph Lundgren's ear
Yeah,
necklace.
yeah, yeah. No, it's like I want one of those ear necklaces. No, Jeff says I was working, so couldn't tune into match stream, but not a big soccer guy anyway. So yeah, it's weird. I only get into soccer for World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a soccer guy. I went to college and played basketball, and then in my second season, I was hurt and had to basically retire because of a gimpy ankle. And I for the rest of the time, I most of my roommates were usually guys from the soccer team, so those dudes would have it on all the time. So I just sort of learned the minor nuances. And I also got really good at FIFA, and I would whoop all their ass at the FIFA PlayStation game, and they would get so mad because they all really knew the game, and I only knew how to
Mhm.
use the cross button. So um, that was part of the charm of the episode with me and Matt, though, is he's a huge football guy. So he,
Mhm.
he follows all the players and all the leagues and the Premier League and all that. I know jack and squat. So, I can call offsides, and that's about it. So, um,
Is
so
that
that was part of the,
offsides? That's offsides.
that's offsides. He was offsides. So yeah, that was kind of the charm of it, is me being a dum dum trying to watch and keep track of what was going on while we discussed soccer. So
Yeah, for me it was I have a similar story. Like I was hanging out with this guy way back in the day, and it was like the original Xbox era. And back then I used to be able to just pick up a game and like, just play anything and be able to get good at it. And no, this guy was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm really good at Fight Night." I had never played Fight Night ever. Like I was just like, "Oh man." And then
the Roddy McDowell movie.
no,
No.
not Fright Night,
Oh,
Fight
okay. Sorry. Gotcha.
Um, no, and then it was interesting because like, it was the first time I ever played a game where it's just like you only to punch and to move you had to use the dual shock, the
Yeah,
little,
the
the
wiggle stick.
analogs. Yeah, the
Yeah, there
analogs,
you
the wiggle stick, yeah.
go. Yeah.
So for me it was like very confusing, and then like he beat me the first match, but then like by the end of it I kind of got the hang of it. He still beat me the second match, but the second match, like we went to like round three. He's like, man, I've never gone to round three with anybody. I usually knock them out like fairly quickly. I'm like, okay, I've never played this game, so next one, first round, I knocked him out.
That's what I like.
And
Somebody
then the
starts to shoot their mouth off a little bit. Hit 'em with the
yeah,
right.
and
Nice.
then we played one more time, and then it's like it was like no contest, man. Like he couldn't beat me after that. And like I've never played this before, man. I catch on really quick. What can I say?
You got that old like Born Identity training from Mike Tyson's Punch Out and Punch Out with Little Mac and stuff. So it just all came back. You were like, I remember.
The
Wait
what
till
he's
your
up,
wait till your turban blinks. You're getting it.
right? Yeah, man. I was PTSD. Like,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Don Flamenco with the
yeah,
mm-hmm.
classic, man. Russell says, watched Embrace of the Vampire with Alyssa Milano last night.
That's like I think that's the 4th episode of this show in a row where we have brought up Embrace of the Vampire with Alyssa Milano. That's it's becoming an underground hit on this individual show. Once a week we make sure to bring it up.
If we start seeing if we start seeing it trending somewhere,
Mm-hmm. We're
Alyssa,
taking credit. That's
yep,
us. That's
it's
all us
all
in the
us.
house.
And our queen of the Hawk 2 is here. Pneumonia, pneumonia.
Oh, she's gonna hack 2 on that dang. Welcome, Pneumonia, pneumonia.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming by, hanging out with us.
It's
Everybody
not a
saying
party unless
hi.
late here.
Yeah.
Konya. Ooh woo.
So I have a coworker that's kind of what do you call it? Spilling some knowledge on all these things. Like, like on the boneyard when y'all play the Chick-fil-A sauce thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where that's from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he showed me the actual like the real video, and I was like, oh my god, this chick looks, you know,
That yeah,
like a
that
horror movie.
yeah. And lemonade? No Chick-fil-A sauce? Yeah, this is all stuff.
Yeah.
I don't keep my thumb on the pulse or my fingers on the pulse of any of my digits. Any appendages I have do not touch the pulse of the internet popularity thing. So Bones is real good for keeping me up on that stuff. You know.
Yeah, like the whole and then the other thing too was the I think one of the ones he did recently where he did the got him.
Oh, got him. These nuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, ever since then, I looked it up on YouTube and I found it and I've been laughing my ass off. It's just so hilarious. And then my coworker, he's like, "Oh man, you never seen that before?" I'm like, "No, man, I haven't. I just saw it recently." And then so now I send him the meme whenever or the GIF at work whenever because we have a group chat and we'll say something, and then when it's appropriate, I'll throw that in there, and it's like so the guy's doing the GIF and it says like the words, so it's hilarious, man.
Hot two on that thing.
Yep. Sean says maybe we'll get news of a 4K of Interview with the Vampire. Oh man, that'd be cool. Since it is the anniversary year, hard to say if it happens this year. Yeah, I feel like if they didn't announce it already, they probably will. That's the thing, man. I always feel like either they've been working on it. We should either hear about it last year or beginning of this year if they had if they're solid in releasing something. At least that's what I've noticed is with physical media. They should have already announced it by now, I would think, unless they're gonna just Halloween, boom, we're dropping a surprise for everybody. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering who would release it. Like if a boutique place would release it, or would it just be just from through the.
Yeah, I would think it would probably be a boutique, or wasn't the who's the original distributor? Warner, probably, because it was in the snapper cases.
It was Geffen. It's a Geffen production. I don't know
Oh,
who. I
okay.
can't remember who released it, but I know Geffen was the production company, if I'm remembering correctly. I
Because
always
most of
remember
those
the
old
Geffen.
the DVD snapper cases we were talking about, most of those were Warner Brothers releases. For some reason, they must have, I don't know, been interested in that cheap model of putting those out.
Right. And everybody's saying hi, Lamonia, Texas Russell. Texas Russell is a classic guy. Yes, he is. He definitely
Yeah,
is.
he is.
Now Texas lives in a protective bubble, and that's why I don't ask him about these things anymore.
Yeah, little known fact: Russell lives in a biodome. He's perfectly fine.
Speaking of, we spoke about that biodome last night. Yeah, I lost electricity for a minute because I live near a major hospital, but my friend Jimmy, who lives 5 minutes away, is still without power. Oh man, various places are still closed around here. Man, that's rough, man. Oh, there he is.
Hi guys.
Look at that! Look at that face! Look at that
Uh
face! Nope.
huh. Close up on you. Look at that face. Oh, look at Edward G. Robinson. How are you? Yeah. See. Yeah. Yeah. See. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's
I
great.
was I was teasing him yesterday. I told him I was going to put some Manscaped ball toner on his face and see if I could get rid of all these wrinkles.
Oh man. And he was just like, "What?"
He just looks at me like, "What are you talking about, dude?" All right, go do whatever it is you do. Go play with Lammy.
Also, our man Jay's here. Legal counsel is with us
Legal
tonight. How you doing,
counsel.
bro?
Evening, Jay.
Everybody saying hi to Jay, and also we have Jamie Hart.
Girl. Jamie Hart. Nice to see you at Purple Heart Club.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Everybody saying
Jamie
hi to
was
Jay.
also in the chat last night for you and Wilkie. I believe Jamie popped up in there as well.
Yeah, and she dropped the knowledge of the other films that she's seen. You know, it's like I was saying last night, man. She could, Corey said it best. She could throw a rock into a video store, and it's like I've seen that film. So yeah, she's
In the
definitely
theater.
in the
Yeah,
theater. In
in
the
the
theater.
theater. Not the BS way I do it, where I watch it at home in the middle of the night. She's front row, or well, third row, probably middle, right? Isn't that the ideal spot?
Yeah, definitely. Pat says interviewing tubers, time flies by. Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody gets going, and yeah, it's a very true statement, man. I mean, I know you and I, once we get rolling and get rolling with the chat, it's just like just runs away from
Mhm.
us. Or for me anyway, you're more of the stern, laying down the law.
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely lay down the law. That's me. I'm the I'm the strict one of the group. That's us.
I know I'm a goth stalker. I mean, a pub walker. I mean,
I
a
mean, a
horror
horror
talker.
talker.
Oh, Russell's birthday is in 23 days away. Oh, nice, nice, cool.
Everybody's birthday is coming up. Mine's like 2 weeks away or something like that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. A bunch of people, a bunch of folks having birthdays. Anthony's in 41 days, and he's up to 1998 in his memoirs. So
Nice,
just
nice.
saying.
Lamonia says, spill the NECA tea.
Right? That's what I'm waiting for. I want this NECA gossip, bro.
We're saying hi to everybody. Hope you're feeling better, Donison.
Oh, thank you, Lay. I appreciate it. Please sacrifice a chicken in my honor or whatever you would do to help me. Lay's plugged into the dark arts, so I have to always ask her for favors. Yeah. Put an egg
Uh,
under my bed.
Jimmy says Riff Tracks cracks me up. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, it's always. I mean, it's the guys. It's the guys from the later seasons. My favorite era of Mystery Science Theater with Mike and Mike Nelson, all those guys. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you can't go wrong. I mean, even hearing them when they do the riff tracks, I'm like picturing Servo and Crow, and it's just like it's crazy, man. It's great.
It's kind of a fun dodge. Like the MST3K just has the silhouettes along the bottom, but Riff Tracks, it's almost the same audible sound, but just
Hmm.
visually it's slightly different. Like, yeah, otherwise. But Riff Tracks doesn't have as much like MST3K every now and then will get bogged down with their skits with the
Hmm.
the mads, the professor, the doctors or whatever, and
Hmm.
the whole thing with Frank and all that. Like it's fun, but every now and then they just go a little too far with it. I like to get back to the movie and then watch the
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, exactly. Like and especially like I can understand. Sometimes they would cut like right at times that are like, wait, we're getting to a good part. Why are you cutting
Mhm.
away now? Or because
Yeah,
granted, like they'll get you rolling, and then it's like you're laughing and laughing. All of a sudden, it just cuts and it kind of like it kills the moment. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then they,
the starting stopping the herky jerkiness of it is a little frustrating at times, as opposed to riff tracks, which will kind of
Yeah, it's just
run straight
continuous. It's
through.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all the way through. Let's see. Miss Jen says, yeah, the MST channel had a Sandy Frank marathon today. Oh wow.
Nice.
Honor and Glory riff tracks. Yep, I saw that one with when I was getting ready to do Honor and Glory with Pugwall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that one's pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
Well, one of the things that's also cool about riff tracks is they do modern films. So like you
Hmm.
can watch The Dark Knight or any of the Transformers movies, and like, stuff made within the last, MST3K is usually bottom of the barrel, almost public domain
You're right.
weirdness. But with riff tracks, you can catch up on whatever, modern stuff you're into too.
Which is interesting because I'm surprised they never did like Night of the Living Dead for MST. They never did, like Nosferatu. They never did like they never
Yeah,
did
White
that stuff.
White Zombie,
Hmm.
the Wasp Woman.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that are just public domain that we all know, but it's like for some reason they never got around to them. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's interesting, but there is also an interesting thing when I met Joe Bob a few years back. I asked him like, "Did you, I never saw the original Night of the Living Dead on Monster Vision," and then he told me why. Because it's even though it's public domain, you still have people that will be like, "No, well, I own it. No, I own it." Like, there's so many people
Yeah.
that can say like, that no, I own it and I own it, and so that's why like TNT didn't want to. That's why they wouldn't show it.
Oh, I could definitely see that because there was George Romero and his partner had a falling out, and then they split, and then there was some sort of legal battle over who owned Living Dead and who owned
Mhm.
like Zombie, as
Of the Dead, and
yeah,
yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, so it became like a huge, I don't know, big hornet's nest. Like I know one of the popular Night of the Living Dead releases on disc is owned specifically by Romero's ex partner, so Romero doesn't get any money, even though that's his film and stuff. Like it's just, it's a big
Yeah, it's
cluster.
crazy, man. It's definitely crazy, man. And it's all nuts. It's all because like the film used to be called Night of Amoebus,
Hmm.
and it had the trademark. But right before they were getting ready to like release it, they obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm just telling something that everybody knows, but it's just like I heard it straight from Russ Striner, one of the producers, and he played Johnny in the film.
Nice.
And he said it was called Night of Amoebus, and then at the last minute we're like, no, let's change it to Night of the Living Dead. And they had put in for them to move the trademark over to Night of the Living Dead, but the people didn't do it.
Yeah, when they made the title card that they show,
Mhm.
they never put it on to advertise, to signify that they owned it, the trademark to it.
Yeah, so that's why. And then, but now they own it again. Now I think it was like they finally got it all settled, and now they own it. That's what when I met Russell last year with the Night of the Living Dead people. Yeah, he had said that now we own the rights finally. So that Criterion version of the
Hmm.
Blu-ray, like yeah, he now that's his. It's theirs again. So I was
Yeah.
like, man, that's awesome. It was very like it was sad, but at the same time, you could tell like him talking about it. It was just like, man.
But I think that also helped contribute to how popular it became. Like it was popular, but because of the fact it was public domain, so many folks showed it at like midnight showings and things like that. If you could get your hands on a print, you could show it and didn't have to pay
Mhm.
anybody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Elvira showed it on multiple of her like shows or specials. Like originally, I think she showed it in her when she was out in the '80s, and I think she did it later when she would do. I think it was like movie macabre or something. I can't remember what it was called. Late when she did it later on. Like I think you can find it on Tubi as well. Like her commentary on it or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is on Tubi. Or Shout Factory has a bunch of those Elvira movie macabres,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Let's see. Russell says, grew up with Kids in the Hall. One of them directed Hardcore Logo. Hmm. I don't
I'm
think
not
I've heard of
familiar
that
with
one.
Hardcore Logo. Hmm.
I know one of them directed Stealing Harvard. That one was hilarious with Tom Green and what's his name? Brody from Mallrats.
Oh, Jason Lee.
Yeah, Jason Lee. There you go. And that was pretty funny. And he makes a cameo, and you could totally tell it's like Kids in the Hall sort of esque, like the
Yeah,
colors and everything. You can. It almost feels like a Kids in the Hall, like something.
Kids in the
And
Hall, something.
Professor says Triple Xmas is the one with nude involved, right? And I was like, yeah, it's that one. That one. Yeah, so definitely check it out, Macabro. You would definitely like it because when I was forewarned about the nudity, I was like, oh man, that's right up the professor's alley. And that person, they did the LOL, and so yeah, good stuff. I miss cable though. Streaming just isn't the same. Well, I mean, we're getting there with all the commercials.
Well, that's why I'd mentioned Amazon Prime has it, and then same way as like Plex, and I think maybe Pluto. I don't know. They do it basically where it's just like cable, where there's an on-screen guide, and you just sort of click on what you want, and it runs through and plays. And then if you can bring up the guide and stuff. Because yeah, Netflix and that model is slightly different, where you have to go through the menus like Tubi and all that. But this is not like regular just TV. You pick you find the channel you want and turn it on, and they have an Alfred Hitchcock channel, and they have like Unsolved Mysteries channel. That was almost what I watched. I almost went with Unsolved Mysteries, but I was like, a little too creepy. If I fall asleep, I might have nightmares. That music's scary.
And then if you hear then in your sleep you're hearing the pug like breathe on you.
Mm-hmm. I can hear him breathing right now. You sound like a diesel train.
Russell says Alice in Wonderland Triple X film. The main actress was in Meatballs later on. Interesting. Speaking of Triple X, Brody's here.
Hey, Brody, the horror guy. Welcome, Brody.
How you doing, Brody? Thanks for coming by, little man.
I was watching Brody play the drums the other day. I think it was on a YouTube short, I believe. It ran by my feed. I was like, hey, look at Brody.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, man, he's jamming. First serial killer film was 1933.
Or 1930.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it, though.
Peter Lorre. Yeah, it's a real creepy. It's a German film. Might be Fritz Lang, I think, even. But yeah, it's very like creepy. Peter Lorre, it's you can't go wrong with Peter Lorre. He's awesome. I always call him the Steve Buscemi of his day. Like he was the indie darling.
So you're saying Steve Buscemi is creepy?
A little. I think it's more the big bug eyes is what gets me, but he's kind of funny looking, like they say in Fargo. How so? I don't know, just sort of funny looking.
The money says X gonna give it to you.
Oh yeah, she's a big DMX fan. What?
Oh man, I'm about to watch Pearl now. Have a good night, guys. Oh, cool. Yeah,
Mr.
Dan. Take it easy. Thanks for coming by, good sir. Everybody saying hi to Brody. Saying hi to everybody else. My buddy Monroy. Thanks for coming by.
Welcome, Juan. Yeah, Juan's a staple. He's it's not a party unless Juan's here.
See, I didn't find out about Shelley Duvall. He was the first person that pinged me about it. I was like, oh really? I was like, dang man, because he's a huge fan of The Shining. So I mean, yeah, like of course. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he was the first one that told me about it. He was also one of the first people that told me when Romero passed. Like all my close friends were like, all of a sudden it started pouring in. Hey man, and then sending me like stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm like really. And then once like 2-3 people started sending it to me, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Let's see, but thanks for stopping by, brother. Thanks for coming by.
Juan's a man.
Mother Goose, rock and rhyme.
Oh, maybe he's talking about the Shelley Duvall stuff. Yeah, the Fairy Tale Theater. Love that. Yeah, that was my childhood was at Fairy Tale Theater because they were so cool and interesting, and they used all the stars of the day. Like what I was saying with the Tall Tales and Legends, like Steve Guttenberg as Pecos Bill, and Jamie Lee Curtis as Annie Oakley and stuff. Like all sorts of cool stuff like that.
Yeah, even wasn't Robin Williams in one of the episodes as well?
I believe so. Oh goodness, I had them all brought up here. Let me see.
And I know you and I talked about this. Russell brings up the possible Popeye remake with Will Smith.
Yeah. that was one of the things that was going around because of Shelley Duvall. You know, a lot of people were talking about the well, and it's kind of interesting. Most of the ones that people saw was Will Smith as in the Popeye remake, and then there's another version that's floating around of The Rock as Popeye in the thing. But apparently, it's a hoax. It's from a Facebook page that makes like dream projects or whatever, and it's intended to be a parody. But because of so many folks being interested in Popeye again because of the Shelley Duvall passing, it took off. So over the actually I think even a couple days before she passed away, it was out bouncing around. But I heard it after she passed,
Mm,
and yeah. So some of the apparently that is a hoax. Because
mm.
I was very interested as well. I was like, is it going to be a musical? Can Will Smith sing? Well, obviously he was, ever DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, but I don't know.
He was the genie in Aladdin also.
Oh, that's right. Which I never saw. I never saw Aladdin,
You're
and I
not you're
think
not you're not
I
missing
think
much.
I think Guy Ritchie directed that, or did he direct
Yeah,
one of the other ones? Yeah, never got around to it. Seems like I would have,
I was just like, what is this? And
but for those of you who are questioning the Will Smith as Popeye, apparently it's an internet hoax. I watched a news report on it. Larry and I were trying to get to the bottom of it for today's show.
yeah, it was just like I had heard like Don had mentioned it to me. I'm like, yeah, you're like the second person that's told me this,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was just kind of like it's interesting. And then I saw some other thing that apparently The Rock is in talks to be Apocalypse or something. I'm like, no, no, no,
He better
please
not
don't.
be.
I mean,
Yeah,
just leave it alone. It's we already got a bad one. Just CGI somebody. I'm fine with that. Just wipe that other one off my from my memory bank for sure.
yeah, that Men in Black flashy thingy.
Yeah, there you go. Where's Will Smith with the flashy thingy?
Uh-huh, and my pug.
Yeah, but you got to put a suit on him for Halloween.
Yeah, put a little black and white. You want to look like Reservoir Dogs for Halloween, Liam? He already is a Reservoir Dog. Uh,
Looks like Devious Diva is here. How you doing, Jen? Thanks for
Jen,
stopping by.
believe yesterday or the day before was Jen's birthday. So once again, another part of the birthday crew. So happy birthday, Jen! Part of the summer crew.
Yeah, that cake looked amazing with the Reese's and stuff. Man,
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, let me get one of them Reese's peanut butter cups.
right? Let's see. Aside from that, I mean, what other? There was also the Gladiator 2 trailer dropped this week.
Yeah, for something that seems like it would be fake, but is actually real. Um,
Yeah.
what did you think of it? I hadn't seen it. I knew that people were talking about it, but I didn't know the trailer had dropped. And you told me to check out the trailer. Um,
So I I like it, but I feel like the guy, the main, I guess the main actor that's like, I guess doing the Russell Crowe, you know,
yeah,
esque character. I don't know. I was really hoping it was what's his name. It was Pedro Pascal, but he's
yeah.
apparently they're gonna fight each other. And I know we talked about this before with the images when they released the first images of it, and they had the lady from the first one,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
first film. I told you she was gonna be back. So apparently, it's gonna be her son is taking over the mantle of Gladiator or whatever, and
Because
she's
I was
trying.
wondering how they were going to make it a part two. Like, how are they going to connect it to the first one? Because obviously, it would have to have some time pass.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of the stuff in the trailer reminded me of Game of Thrones. There was one famous episode of Game of Thrones where there was like a wildfire and these boats were attacking the castle and they were shooting and Dinklage leads an army and all this stuff. It's one of the more famous episodes of Game of Thrones, and a bunch of the clips from the commercial reminded me of that. Um, the main thing that jumped out at me is, did you see Denzel with them big ear hole gauges in his ears? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, did he has he been spending the last 2 years of his life getting his ears stretched out, or how's that work? Maybe it's
I don't know, man.
CGI. Did they CGI the ear hole? I don't know.
Right? Or is this like a prosthetic?
Yeah, that could be.
But I'm interested to see like his role in the film. It's just weird. It kind of watching it and seeing him in it almost kind of took me out of it
Mm-hmm.
a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I do know that I thought it was interesting. Like I guess they're twins, the bad guys or whatever, the villains. I think one of them is the guy that's coming out in The Quiet Place Day One or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The guy with the cat. I think he's one of the twin villains or something like that. It looked. I mean, it looked like him. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, all these guys look alike nowadays. So
Yeah, all these guys look alike nowadays. Put
at
that on
least
the movie poster. All these guys look alike nowadays.
Horror Cat Dad, one star. All these guys look
Uh-huh.
the same.
Well, I was more bummed out that Pedro Pascal, like you say, wasn't a huge. I would have thought he'd be like a cornerstone of the movie. You know, him and Denzel is pretty much all you need for above the title stars. Like I would go see a movie that had them two, and instead, yeah, the sort of lesser known, he's the guy that's supposed to carry it.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But I mean, let's see what Ridley comes up with.
Yeah,
Brody's asking how we've been. I'm guessing he's asking us how we've been.
maybe he's just
Huh?
asking everybody everywhere, just how you
Yeah.
been. Brody worries about people. That's what I like about Brody. He's a good guy.
Russell says, Larry is so sad. R.I.P. Yeah, yeah. It's sad that she's no longer with us, and hopefully she's like you said, resting in power now. Russell says he supports Manchester City in
Oh,
soccer.
not a boy.
All of the abuela fatalities.
Yeah, exactly. All the fatalities.
Oh
The
man, that's
Spanish
great.
speaking granny. Yeah.
So I mean, I hope it's good. I mean, it looked. You know, it's not like, oh man, I'm gonna rush out to go watch it. I mean, I might wait a week and see like what people say, and then go check it out. I love the first one. The first one is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, the idea that they were even making it was one of those things that it felt like the first one was a standalone, no reason to ever make a part two. So it feels like even the fact that there is a part two to Gladiator sort of waters it down. But
Hmm.
there's so much cachet with the first Gladiator. I mean, it was up for a bunch of Academy Awards, and Russell Crowe
Hmm.
got to be a big star from it. And
Yep.
"Are you not entertained?" It became like a catchphrase throughout film history. So I mean, I could see them treading on that. I should say trading on that success of the first film. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I regarding trailers, I sent you or I told you about the new Captain America: Brave New World. I think it's called. What is
Hmm.
it? Yeah, that where Anthony Mackie's first time out in a movie as Captain America, and the big thing that jumped out to me around that trailer is because William Hurt passed away, they'd recast him with Harrison Ford,
Hmm.
and in this, General Ross becomes president, so now Harrison Ford is president again, like Air Force One. Get off
Hmm.
my plane. So once again, another famous movie line.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was kind of the main thing. And then also, as you noticed in one brief little second, there's going to be a Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
Interesting.
and they're going to tie in a lot of the Edward Norton Hulk stuff back into the Marvel universe. When Mark Ruffalo was in there, they kind of almost acted like that Edward Norton film didn't exist.
Hmm.
But in this new one, Liv Tyler will be back playing the same role she played in that Hulk movie.
Wow.
Tim Blake Nelson is going to play what's his name with the big head that they kind of paid off in the. I can't think of his name. Let me see if I have it here handy.
Carlos Esposito. That I didn't know about that. That threw me for a loop when I
Yeah,
saw it.
Giancarlo Esposito's in there, and yeah, the cast itself looked rather amazing, but the footage looked very reminiscent of Winter Soldier, which is my favorite probably of all the Marvel films. So if they're going to kind of get back to that tone and that heavy duty action, espionage, spy thriller kind of stuff, I'm all for that. That's
Well, are the Russo brothers doing it? Like I said, I hadn't heard of it until you told me, and I just watched the trailer. But
yeah, I
that's the
had
one thing I wasn't sure.
yeah. Let me see here.
While you're looking that up, Russell says he's all stocked up and ready to party again. He also says
Nice.
Mr. Bones is awesome guy. Yes, and then Lamonia says Liam.
Yeah,
So
Liam's very popular. He's becoming an internet sensation. Um,
so
no,
you,
the director is Julius Ona, which I am unfamiliar with Julius's work.
hmm,
Um,
interesting.
yeah. Let me see here. But apparently, Captain America or Chris Evans will not be in it. Apparently, unless he has some sort of weird cameo. Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Tim Blake Nelson as a leader. Um, which I was unaware of, but I remember in the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton version, there's a part where a little bit of Hulk's synthetic blood drops into his head, and his head starts to grow all giant and big, like a right around the Abomination stuff. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, that's what I'm saying. All that was kind of pushed to the side when Edward Norton was no longer the Hulk. So they
Hmm.
just sort of acted like that. It's almost like the missing Marvel movie. But now they're going to tie all that stuff back in with the Anthony Mackie Captain America stuff, which is bizarre, you know.
So I'm trying to I'm wondering is like, so obviously he doesn't have powers. Like he's just a human that can fly with the wings, and
Yeah,
he knows how to
Falcon.
use, yeah, the Falcon. I mean, he's just a Falcon, you know, and he can throw the the shield. But it's like, yeah, I guess so. If anybody gets a lucky shot, he's pretty
Well,
much.
I guess in the comics, I never read it, but apparently when they did a bunch of the reboots, at one point they had Steve Rogers reveal that he was a secret member of what do you call it? Uh, the damn hidden organization, not Shield.
Hydra.
Hydra. Thank you, God. I was like the octopus. Yeah, that Steve Rogers was actually a secret spy for Hydra all those years, and
I
people were
remember that. It was
pissed.
like, yeah, it was a big
Yeah,
thing.
there was a huge backlash of like the fans were like, "What are you talking about? Like Captain America having him be like a secret betrayer, undercuts 75 years of comic books, like." Um, so I'm wondering if they would ever bring back Chris Evans to play that role.
That'd be cool.
Hmm.
I think if they did it, like you said, sort of Winter Soldier esque, but have
Hmm.
Chris Evans as like the villain. I think because I mean I don't know if you saw that movie, The Gray Man.
Hmm.
It's on Netflix with the guys, and it has Billy Bob Thornton, and it also has Chris Evans, and he's a villain in that, and he's like total nut job, and
Yeah,
he was pretty good in it, and the movie's good. I liked it. I think you should check it out if you get a chance
the
to.
the Gray Man.
Yeah,
All right, I'll
and
I'll add it to the queue.
and it's done by the Russo brothers.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, so it definitely has that espionage like feel to it and stuff, or that assassin. It's more like assassin stuff,
All
but
right.
it's pretty good. I
Uh,
liked it a lot.
That's up my alley. I'm interested in that.
And then it teams him up with Joy from Blade Runner,
Oh,
and
okay.
Deastra. So
Okay.
it's like seeing them together. I'm like, oh man, Blade Runner. You know,
You're a huge Blade Runner, Mark. I like that about you.
yeah. It's like put them both in a movie. I'm like, oh, Blade Runner. I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. No, there was that, and then I think from that, I think I told you about there was that Agatha show.
Yeah. I strangely, this is one where I read the WandaVision comics. Like it was like a 8-part miniseries or something when I was a kid, and I had collected them all, and I had liked that. But then when they made the show, I never got around it. It looked slightly kind of different and weird and sort of campy, almost um like the sitcom campy stuff that's in Natural
Mm,
Born Killers. That's almost what it reminded me of, like the clips I saw. But apparently Agatha is a spin-off of WandaVision then?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
So the thing that,
uninformed.
yeah, I was sort of interested in the show at the beginning because the way that they were promoting it and it was looking like it kind of gave me the vibes of Legion,
Oh, okay.
and because Legion is very much like you don't know what's going on, like is this really happening? Is this really like? And
Is it in his
there's,
head?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so there's a lot of that going on, and from looking at the trailer, even my wife said it. She was like, "It's almost as like kind of reminds me of what they did with Legion, where it's like you don't know what time it is. You don't know what, like, is it the 70s? Is it the 80s? Like you don't know what era we're in.
Hmm.
And that I felt like that, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, this sucks. Um, and then like the big reveal of like of Quicksilver, and it was all just they wasted that, and I was just like, show's horrible. And should have been like foreshadowing like all the other shows. Um,
Disney Plus digs deep into like the real, not second tier, but like fourth tier Marvel characters. You know, like I like Moon Knight. I would be interested in watching the Moon Knight show, and I heard it did well.
yeah,
But
it's
like,
good.
but in my opinion, Moon Knight is a character that should exist in, as like a background story in some other story, or like the Daredevil or whatever. Like, he shouldn't have his own gig. And that's how a lot of those characters are. Even She-Hulk. I mean, I guess She-Hulk could have her own show, and it did relatively well, but I would have preferred to see that character like maybe as a lawyer in against Daredevil in a court case, and then we see that she's, got a separate side story or whatever. But they kind of get off track with so many weird, like deep cut characters that it's not my cup of tea.
I think I actually, from if I'm remembering correctly, I think he does come out in the show.
I think he
Uh,
has like a small cameo in it, but like that's what I mean. I thought that it would be she would show up on his show, not he would try to give the rub to her to get her show some watches.
mhm.
But yeah, that's a lot of those characters like that. You know, I felt like Morbius, even though that was a movie, that didn't need to be made. Like, Morbius could have been in a Spider-Man film or something like that, or
Yeah,
whatever. Same with I don't know, Craven's coming out, and I always liked the
yeah,
Craven character, but I'm not sure he needs his own movie. Like, he seems
yeah,
like he would be, have him fight the Punisher or something. I don't know.
yeah. But that would be the thing. Like if they were to bring back the Punisher show, have him in that.
Yeah,
You know, not
but yeah,
have a whole movie about him, and then just I think it's one of those things where like if you were gonna have a movie about him, introduce him in something first.
hmm
Don't
hmm
just be like, oh, this is because I mean, yeah, he's if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, yeah, definitely you know who he is. But
I've been
it's
waiting
it's
for him to show up in a Spider-Man movie since the Raimi films. Like, where's Craven? But no.
it's not like Venom where like you can say like, oh, Venom, everybody knows Venom, you
Yeah,
know. But speaking of Raimi, we heard some other news from Raimi this week. He's going to
yeah,
be apparently doing some new horror stuff.
yeah. It's somebody else is going to. It's from a story written by someone else, which is
Hmm.
generally weird. He often does his own. He crafts his own stories. He's a bit of an auteur. So the idea that he's going to step in and direct for. I mean, I guess he did what Doctor Strange and the Wizard of Oz. What's it
Hmm.
called? So those films, like those were written by other people. So it's not that unheard of for him to direct, be a director for hire. But the fact that Raimi's getting back to horror roots is exciting to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. I think the script is done by or the story is done by the people that did Freddy vs. Jason, the writers from Freddy vs. Jason,
Yeah, I believe so.
and I think it's going to be similar to like something from Misery, something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
they used Misery as one of the examples of what type of movie it is.
mm.
That's an
But
odd one.
then I heard something. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that Drag Me to Hell 2 is going to happen.
Hmm.
I had heard
I know
that
that
as
one's
well
been
this
talked
week.
about for a while, but Um, I'm not sure Drag Me to Hell was that. I mean, I enjoy it and I like it a lot, and I wish they would make another one. But usually Hollywood goes by how much money did it make, or how huge is it as an IP? Like, can you sell Drag Me to Hell 2 T-shirts and action figures and stuff? So um,
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, if it happens, I mean, I know a lot of people. That's one that I still haven't seen.
Drag Me to Hell,
Yeah,
it's enjoyable. I like it.
I
I would
always
give
hear
it a
it's
watch.
a fun one.
Yeah, I would give it a watch. It's fun. Um, it's yeah, it feels very Raimi esque.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I totally forgot he had done the Oz film.
Yeah, I
You
was couldn't remember the name of it. I was like, whatever it was, Oz Great and
Oz the Great and
Powerful. Return to
Powerful. Yeah.
Oz. Or was that a different one?
No, that's the
Yeah,
really creepy one from the 80s.
yeah,
No, yeah. When I saw that one, I was like, wow, this is a Raimi film. There was, I think, towards the end, I saw the Raimi, you know, the Raimi deep cuts, but
yeah.
most of it, I was just like, I
Well,
totally forgot it was a Raimi film because I saw it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, there was directing things that happened that reminded me of Raimi. Like there was one part where a carriage went by and then behind it a new scene cut in. Like they used the carriage as a wipe, and I was like, oh, that's very Raimi,
Mm.
But in general, I was more just like, James Franco film.
Yeah, I think that was around the time he was starting on his decline, right? I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people had kind of
because
gotten sick of him then.
yeah, and then he did the Disaster Artist, and then he got in trouble, and he got canceled. We haven't got canceled, so
Still not canceled, buddy. 22 episodes. Cheers.
22, 22.
Deuces. It was deuces. There you go. Deuces.
It looks like the chat's talking about 50s music and Buddy Holly.
Huh. Gary Busey?
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, Buddy Holly's story was Gary Busey.
And he also turns up in La Bamba, I believe, because Richie Valens passes away. So, and then I think there was a movie about like Alan Friedman or something like that, like the DJ who really helped get rock and roll off the ground in radio. And I believe there's a Buddy Holly in that. Like, yeah, Buddy Holly often turns up as like a side character. Other than that Gary Busey one, he's usually kind of a peripheral character.
Well, even in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox. Did you ever see that one? Yeah, even what's his name? Frankie Muniz comes out as Buddy Holly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I immediately thought of Buscemi with it. I'm Buddy, I'll be your waiter, and then just like Buddy Holly. He's always sort of like a peripheral character. He rarely gets to be the guy.
Yeah, and then another classic that Brody's bringing up, the Monkees.
Yeah, I that's one I take a lot of crap for. I actually enjoy the Monkees. So
I love the Monkees, man. I used to watch that show on Nick at Night with after Mr. Ed.
Oh, nice.
So, I used to watch that.
Like Jamie says, it was in syndication, so it was on all the time. Like it would be on in the afternoon on like Chicago television and stuff. So I've seen a lot of those. It was such a fun like sitcom-y show, but then also the music, little interludes. You get a jam or two each episode, but then there'd also be kind of the wacky screwball. It was almost like British humor. Like it was very weird compared to most American sitcoms.
Yeah, I definitely I can see that. Looking back then, I just thought it was funny, but I mean now thinking about it, very very much almost Monty Python-esque type.
Not humor. Traditional cut and dry. Like like what you said with Mr. Ed. Like Mr. Ed's a traditional American sitcom. People in a house or whatever. But these four dudes in a band, and a lot of times it's about the woman they're dating and whether they're breaking up. And there's usually 2 or 3 subplots going on. And I don't know, it's kind of an avant-garde show. It was cool.
And what they say, they're always mucking around.
Yeah, they are.
Russell, see?
Show. Yeah, see, there you go. Russell knows with the British humor.
Oh wow, he has one of the Monkees CDs. Nice, man. Everybody's like loving on the Monkees right now.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Davey's mine. Peter was mine. Who's your favorite Monkee, Larry?
Oh man, it was
Caesar.
Huh?
Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
No, I can't. It was always either Peter Tork or am I thinking the right guy? The tall guy, the one that was always quiet.
Mike,
yeah.
Yeah, he always wore like the winter cap,
yeah,
little beanie or whatever. He's the famous trivia about him is I think it was like his grandfather or somebody in his family invented whiteout. Yeah, the liquid paper, like they invented whiteout, so he was rich before that show ever got popular. So he's like kind of well-to-do, and he also is the executive producer on Repo Man.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike Nesbitt, I think his name is.
Yeah. Mike Nesbitt.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember his last name.
Yeah, he's a kind of a weird, and he's the one when the people started making fun of the Monkees because all their music was like pre-written for them, and they were just sort of a boy band put together to sing those songs. Mike and Mickey were like the 2 main ones that said, "Well, we want to start writing our own music." So yeah,
Mm.
Mike. A lot of the Monkees songs are written by Mike Nesbitt. A lot of the early Monkees songs are written by Neil Diamond.
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
because yeah, like
I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't their music at the beginning, but I didn't know it was Neil
yeah,
Diamond that did it. Wow, that's cool.
yeah, a lot of interesting people contributed to that. But yeah, I was a big fan of the Monkees. They had a resurgence in the '80s where they went around and retoured again and stuff. So I've learned a bunch about the Monkees as a teenager.
Which is your favorite Monkey song?
um, Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. It's about a guy who's got two girlfriends and he's like kind of juggling them both. And he's like, here comes tomorrow. Like,
Wow,
you have to figure out,
early My Girlfriend's Girlfriend by Typo Negative.
there you go. Exactly.
No, I'd say I still, the Cheer Up Sleepy Jean. I love that song.
Yeah. Wake Up Sleepy Jean or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a classic. I think there's one called Home. I think Mickey sings it, but, for some reason, a lot of times Davey is the lead singer on the songs, and
Mhm.
those are usually my least favorite ones. I like the oddball ones. It's like, oh, let's let Peter sing one.
Yeah. It was just like no, I'm singing this one. Like, well, I
Yeah,
guess. Everybody's like, yes, what's going on about the monkeys? And our man Nate is here.
Nate. Shout out to Nate. Nate, I got exactly what I wanted for the Night Owl Movie Talk merchandise. When I rolled it out, I was like, as long as Nate does one of his videos where he flosses a shirt or something. And there's one floating around on Nate's channel with him with the white Night Owl Movie Talk shirt.
Omega.
Don Mega. You saw it exactly.
Yeah,
It made my
man, of
day.
course. I commented on it. I was like, nice. I was like, that's awesome, man.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to see Nate model one of my shirts. So thank you, Nate, for making a boy's dreams come true.
Everybody's saying hi to Nate,
Pat, pat,
legend.
pat, 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 pat. Yep. Got him. All right, sorry, go ahead.
I saw the monkeys. Wow. When I was 2 years old, front row, 1967. Wow, man.
Actually, Russell did Head, the Monkeys
Hmm.
movie, I believe, on one of his awesome cult movie watch-alongs that I always dig so much. Yeah, when I saw he was doing Head, I was like, cool. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, what? Something of the monkeys? I was like, all right, Russell's cool, man. I mean, Russell was already cool, but like, man, for somebody to bring up the monkeys, I was like, man, that's awesome, man. Because
Yeah,
back then, I knew the monkeys before the Beatles. So like as I was getting, I guess, more older, and I would hear the Beatles, like, oh, is this like? I would tell my mom, is like, oh, is this like the monkeys? And it's like, well, the Beatles came out first, and I was like, really? And I was like, well, the monkeys are my favorite. I don't care.
Well, one thing I never got about the Monkees though is like I was probably in my 20s when I realized that the Beatles as a title is a pun. They're the Beatles, not Bet. So yeah, so the Beatles. But why are the Monkeys two E's? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The Monkeys. E's like it's like there's
Monkey.
no pun there. It's just a silly spelling. Yeah, monkeys. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's
So
get
if
David
anybody has
Jones.
thoughts on why monkeys has two E's, let me know.
Let's get one of the. Let's get one of them on the horn.
Yeah,
Like,
let me get Peter Tork on the line real quick.
everybody saying hi to everybody, or saying hi to Nate rather.
Oh, Nate's a fan.
Rose says, should I be concerned that I'm known in the community as
I don't think really enjoying boobs is a weirdo thing. I think
That's not a
that's
bad thing.
actually. I'm pretty sure that's how we all got here. Is men enjoying boobs is kind of where we all sort of came from at one point or another. So, you're keeping the species alive, Macabro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And still one of the best avatars on all the internet. Godzilla with a
Oh yeah.
taco.
Well, that's why, like, the first person I thought of when they told me about the nudity thing, I was like, the first person, the professor. I was like, oh man, he's gonna love this son.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It was shot really well. I was, cinematography looked nice. The nudity was pretty nice.
It was pretty nice, adequate. I dig it.
Yep. No, but it was, the effects were pretty good. There was a lot of like, the kills were pretty good as well. Um, yeah, so definitely, if y'all haven't checked it out, definitely go to Schlockenall, go to their community tab and look for the link, and then y'all can check it out if you're wanting to check it out, or if you're
Mm.
not if you're not offended by nudity and stuff like that. But
Any
yeah,
eye candy for the ladies in there, or is it all just what female nudity?
yeah, there's a couple of guys in there stuff that
All right, so there you go. That's all I ask for is if there's a nice balance. Sometimes I feel like the ladies get stuck always having to look at other naked ladies. So every now and then you got to mix in a handsome dude to balance it out. Shout out to my gay friends as well. Long live the melons. Right on. Yams.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
was
a pair
like
of yams.
I was like potatoes.
Right in the yam bag. Potatoes?
Shock. I haven't seen Shock.
Mm-mm.
Which one's that one?
I don't think I've seen Shock either.
Monroy just said he saw Long Legs today. He said it's good and suspenseful. I have to check that one out. Again, I've heard Nicholas. I haven't seen any trailers or anything, but I know Nicholas Cage is in it, so I definitely want to check it out.
It's a new one to me. Long legs, huh?
Yeah, I've been hearing people talk about it. It's just the only thing I knew about it though is that he's Nicholas Cage is in it. So of course I want to check it out because he's in it.
He overshadows things. Like every movie like that I see where Nicolas Cage is like the main picture on the front. That's what I immediately think. It's like, oh, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. Even Pig or whatever is like, immediately, oh, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. It's like the damn thing's called Pig. No offense, Liam. It's all right. Go back to sleep.
Now Jamie says she saw the trailer for Romulus today, and it freaked me the f out.
Yeah. You had sent me a picture of there's a close up of the new xenomorph for this Romulus character that's floating around, and the back has kind of almost like a stegosaurus, or how would you describe that? Like kind of pokey things coming out of the spine, like.
Yeah, it was interesting. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see. Let me see. Can I? No, I'll have to do full screen here. But yeah, so shout out to Marty because he sent me this, and I was just like, wow, man, this looks insane. So here is what they're showing right now in one of the magazines. They showed some images of the actual the xenomorph. So we'll see. I really can't wait to see it, man. It's gonna be. Oh wait, sorry.
That's all right.
There we go.
Can
Yeah.
you
So
can you take down Jamie's comment? I was going to say one of the things that jumped out to me is it looks like a baby in utero, like the way it's circled up and the way the tail is and stuff. Like it looks like it's in the womb almost. Like it's kind of, I don't know, kind of wild looking.
yeah, it's crazy. There's another image too. Let me get that one up real quick.
But did you see what I mean though? How the stuff coming out of its back are like extra sort of spiky and creepy, more so than the traditional HR Giger, the like, very slick and smooth, almost slimy and sleek, like a bald cat or something. This one looks more like rough and jagged, like it.
Yeah, this one looks insane.
Like
This
almost
is a
like
better.
Godzilla. It looks like Godzilla at the back. It's that's wild looking.
Yeah, like if you look at the tail there, the way that it's more bony sticking out.
Yeah,
There's like the ridges. Yeah, I can see
it
what you
looks
mean
like a
by the.
spine. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's kind of crazy looking.
Yeah, so yeah, I totally agree with you, Jamie. This one, yeah, I'm getting more excited for it. Like I said, again, Marty was the one that hit me up about it, and he showed me the screenshots of this, and I was like, oh man, I think it looks cool, and hopefully, NECA, I know you watch the show every week, so give us one of these xenomorphs.
Liam wanted to see the alien. What'd you think? Scary? Or eh? Eh. He's unimpressed. He's hard to impress.
He's like, oh,
Another alien? For the love of God, why are they still making aliens movies?
good stuff, man. Everybody,
Yeah,
this is
I'm trying
Liam
to get
again.
Liam his own spin-off show. I think he's overdue to take over the internet.
Right? Just have him and Switch. You know, just kind of like, and that was the other thing me and my wife were talking about too, doing like a ASMR of like Switch doing her like kneading on the this cat scratcher. Oh, look at that! Look at that face.
Yeah, Liam's going through separation anxiety. His mom and dad are gone and for the weekend, so once he thinks that everybody on Earth has died except for me, and I'm his new master. So everywhere I go, he just follows me around. Huh? Huh? Is that it?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's like this week on In the House became Animal Planet.
Yeah, into Doghouse.
In the Doghouse. There you go.
Look at all these
Uh,
wrinkles. What am I supposed to do with all these wrinkles, huh? Huh? What am I doing with these, huh? See what I mean? The shifting weight. You got to be careful when you pick him up.
yeah.
Never can tell.
Nate saying Captain America was a confidential informant. That's deep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brother Max is here. How you doing, good
Brother
sir?
Max, get your Old Spices and coochie washes out. All right.
I might just put you like Liam on
Look at it. Now
Liam.
he's fascinated by himself. He's very impressed.
Liam, do you have
You're a star.
any,
You're like Pearl. You're a star.
I'm a star.
I'm a star. I'm a star.
And that was funny. What Lamonia said is like you also just get some booze and like every time she says I'm a star, just like chug him down. You'll be drunk by like 20 minutes in.
That's what I need to do is just do a complete shot for shot remake of Pearl, except with Liam as Pearl. Just
Let's see. Tomorrow, Maslany. I don't even know. I'm probably butchering that name. In Orphan Black couldn't
do what
get
you do.
to She-Hulk. I see. That's the thing. I hear a lot of people couldn't get into She-Hulk. It looked horrible to me, so I never watched it. But that's just me.
I never heard it. Everybody I know who watched it and did reviews of it said it was absolutely terrible and they didn't like it at all. But I never heard specifically why it was so terrible. So
I kept hearing from people that I heard from, it was like woke. It was like like She-Hulk was better than Ruffalo Hulk, and like she was like stronger and she knew better than him and she knew all this. That's what I the people would show clips and then they would and he was kind of emasculated, and then you see his really weird looking son at the end of the show. Apparently he had a kid.
that's one of the things that always rubs me the wrong way is like it's cool that they give equal time or feminine empowerment and stuff, but then when you have the feminine empowerment plus they have to make fun of the men character and be like, oh, boys are stupid or whatever, it feels very junior high. It doesn't feel progressive. It feels regressive almost, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of to go to think. I mean, and this is something like you can argue. Look at Aliens. Ripley in Aliens, she's kind of like the still almost damsel in distress, and then I was gonna say Kyle Reese Hicks kind of gives her like the little like, hey, the quick, this is how to use the pulse rifle, and she ends up saving him at the end. She's the one that stops kills all the xenomorphs at the end. So it's like if done like that, yeah, I mean,
Well,
she ends up.
even
It's
Sarah Connor,
yeah, that too.
James Cameron's real good about making these strong female characters that aren't like bang you over the head with a message kind of thing. They're just badass, and
Hmm.
you never question like, oh, this feels contrived to make a political point. It's like, no, that's just a mother who went insane, and now she's like this survivalist person, and
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that's
or
that.
even even in part two when she's like the ultimate badass, psycho, ultimate
Yeah,
badass,
just doing the pull ups on her bed and stuff. Like that's all just awesome. Yeah,
and she's
tough
fighting.
looking.
She's fighting off orderlies and stuff, and but at the
Mhm,
same time, she messes up. She learns from her mistakes and stuff like that. But it's natural. It's real.
mhm,
It's not just like, oh, I messed up. It's your fault. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I don't
I'm.
know.
This is all the fault of the patriarchy. Damn it.
Now, before we get canceled, I'll move
Yeah,
on to
episode
another.
23. Color
Yeah,
bars.
yeah. No, it's gonna be Liam and Switch.
Yeah,
He's like, we got to get him back,
the ratings would go through the roof.
right? And it's just be them like for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Mhm.
Punisher with Thomas Jane. That was a really good one.
Oh, that Harry Hex scene where they're in the diner and that guy comes in and pulls out a guitar and sings like kind of a hate ballad about how the guy's gonna die. Like that's one of the best scenes in movie history. That thing, it gives me the chills every time I watch it. It never gets old.
It almost kind of reminds me a little bit of like Desperado, but like
Yeah, yeah,
the
it's got a.
evil version of Desperado, like
Mhm.
it's like Antonio Banderas' brother, but like he went the other way instead of being a good guy.
But he's got that
I don't,
cool Johnny Cash vibe to him. He comes in, he's
yeah.
got the black blazer, he's got the guitar, he sits down, and then Thomas Jane's just eating the entire time, like trying to be cool, but he's paying attention to him, like won't take his eyes off him because he knows some stuff's about to go down.
Hmm.
And then after that little weird song, they immediately cut to the two muscle cars like banging into each other, and it just turns into this wild ride. Like, yeah, that's a cool movie. John
Yeah,
Travolta is the worst part of that film.
yeah.
The
Unfortunately,
rest of it's pretty darn good.
yeah. Yeah, he did feel out of place as the villain.
Yeah.
I liked. I mean, I'm sure he got that film because of Face Off or whatever. But no, he felt out of place for that one. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then I
Broken
found out.
Broken Arrow is what he reminds me of. Did you ever see that one with
Yeah,
the John Woo one? Yeah, he plays that same kind of over the top, like, oh, you're insane. Yeah, isn't it cool?
yeah.
Like
But I liked him in that though. I do like Broken Arrow.
Broken
I
Arrow.
liked him.
I like
But
a good train movie, but other than that, yeah, I think you could have replaced Travolta with somebody else in there, and it would have probably still been a decent film.
yeah, and then I heard the reason why that Punisher film takes place in like Miami is because of John Travolta. Like he wanted it to be filmed in Miami. And
And
I heard that from Thomas Jane. Like he said that in an interview.
hmm,
So it's not like, like, oh, some random person said it on the internet. No, Thomas Jane actually said that in an interview that I saw. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. It's crazy.
I think that's why the Bad Boys movies take place in Miami or in Florida because Will Smith wanted to be down in Florida when they filmed it or whatever.
Hmm. I thought it
Yeah,
was well, back then I thought it was because of I always heard the tax breaks and stuff like that.
that could be as well because I know some of those states were really trying to push the low taxes to get the film industry to start coming there. Georgia is huge for that.
Oh yeah, that's why they film Walking Dead there.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of shows at the end, you'll see that peach
Hmm.
come up and it'll say Georgia because it's
Hmm.
so much more affordable to shoot there than California, which has taxes and regulations up the wazoo.
Yep. And looks like we got Eric here. Is it time
Hey,
for
Eric, I've been
news?
missing Eric. Well, when you were
Yeah.
talking about today, you did a release of the Count Orlock Funko Pop, and you had mentioned that there was a soda pop version of them,
Hmm.
and I never really understood the difference between like what those soda pop cans were. And Eric is the one who could explain them all. He's got a bunch of great content for Funko stuff and trying to understand the whole chase characters and all that, like what's going to be inside. So yeah,
Hmm.
Eric's the one that really keyed me into understanding all that. So
Yeah, if y'all haven't checked out Eric's channel, yeah, every Saturday he does Soda Saturday, and
Yeah.
so he always unboxes a soda, and he does a reveal if it's like, is it a chase, is it a regular, and so
Mhm.
yeah, definitely check out his channel. He's got, plus he always hits us with the hard hitting questions.
Yeah, Eric's one of the best question askers on the internet. Eric's also, as long as we're singing the praises of our friend here, he's a good Instagram follow. I like to point out the people who are good Instagram follows. He's always got, like, he took some of the best pictures of the Aurora Borealis when it went on, and he's got, like, I believe he lives by Lake Tahoe, so there's all this like awesome, scenery around him. So he's a good Instagram follow. Eric's an all-around, well-rounded social media person.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, so y'all, if y'all haven't checked out his channel or his Instagram, definitely check it out.
Yeah, shout out
Uh,
to Eric.
he's saying hi to everybody. The horror duo. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, let's see. I saw that trailer today. Yeah, she was. Jamie's talking about like the Romulus trailer. Craven film is a gory good time. Really? Oh, Carver. Carver. Sorry, I was thinking Craven the Hunter. I was like, really? I was like, is there a trailer for that or something? No, Carver. That name sounds familiar.
Does that have
Something.
something to do with John Carver?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it John Carver? Looks good. He keeps. Yeah, keep fingers crossed. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I
I
think
love.
this looks like one of the more promising Alien films. I mean, I personally liked Prometheus and Covenant, but
Mhm.
I know a lot of people have their issues with it. But no, I enjoyed both of those. But I'm looking forward to Romulus. So yeah, I think that would be kind of a cool one to check out.
Yeah, I mean, of the two, like Prometheus, Covenant, I really love Prometheus. Covenant, I kind of like, I like it, but it's like the way it ends, and just kind of like the fact that it was like David that created the xenomorphs. Spoiler alert. Um, that part of it, I'm just kind of like that. That kind of rubs me a little bit the wrong way. Um, yeah, I don't know. I
I
just
like that there was a like a mystery plot, dude going crazy and all of that stuff. The synthetic going crazy and all that. Like a lot of that was all very interesting to me. I mean, I can understand how people would have problems with it, but as far as holding my attention from beginning to end, whether I liked it or not, I was like, oh, I thought that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, I liked it. I mean, I thought the action was good, all that stuff. The xenomorph stuff was good. It's just that part of it, and the scientists were not very smart. They kept doing a lot of non-logical things, even though they were like scientists.
Yeah. Dumb scientists get on my nerves all the time in movies. It's like they
Yeah.
introduce us to people who are supposed to be really smart and they do the stupidest stuff. It's like, come on, man.
hmm looks like Eric says Raimi's partnership with Ghost House Pictures just may push. See, that's what we are talking about before, the Drag Me to Hell too. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be interesting if he does. If Raimi starts doing more horror stuff, that'd be pretty cool. Do you know why the creeper didn't want Derry's sister?
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
I know. Or is this
Um,
going to be a joke? Oh,
La
La
Bamba,
Bamba.
yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Buddy Holly. Yeah. Para
Para
bailar La
bailar.
Bamba?
Everybody got some La Bamba fans up in here.
Is
Uh,
what's your favorite Lou Diamond Phillips? La Bamba or Young Guns?
Young Guns.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chavez y Chavez. That's the
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Although I will argue that First Power is really good too.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen First Power in a minute, but that is a creepy, weird one.
Yeah, it's on Tubi. I want to go back and watch it, so I'm hoping to get to catch that sometime. We'll see.
Yo soy
Hopefully
Juan Monroy Nero. I was singing along with Lamonia.
yo no soy marinero.
Yo no soy Juan Monroy Nero.
In the opening scene in the car, she had prescription glasses.
Oh, why the creeper wasn't into because she had some sort of vision issue?
Interesting.
Sure.
Drag Me to Hell is awesome. Yeah, like I keep hearing it's really good. I need to check it out.
Yeah, give it a watch. I think you would dig that, Larry. It's got
Looks like Courtney needs
it's
to
got
watch it.
very very Raimi-esque. It feels like a cousin almost to the Evil Dead movies, but it's got a good soundtrack, and I don't know, it's fun.
Jimmy Hart's got a thing for drummers, apparently.
Nice.
So does Jamie apparently, or so does Lamonia.
Pneumonia.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Russell, right away. I'm a drummer. How you doing? Hey, Brody. Brody, ladies man.
Eric says here they come. The horror cat Dawn getting awesome looks from every horror fan they meet. Hey, we're in the house. We're not monkeying around.
Mm-hmm. He did a freestyle rewrite. Nice.
To put anyone down. Nice. That's that's funny. Everybody's saying hi to each other.
He's because Russell always calls it's a term of affection or whatever, the pretty woman Chuck.
It's no secret we're close as sweaty Velcro. I think it's we're starting to get off the rails here.
That's what I like. That's what, about the hour and a half mark is when it starts getting wild.
Right. And looks like Guy's here. How you doing, Guy? Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for stopping by last night as well. And coming and hanging out with us on Corey's channel. Thank you so much. Hilaria and Don. Don, I remember the Monkeys 80s resurgence. And see, that was the thing in the 80s. That's why I was watching it on Nick at Night, I'm imagining. But it didn't take, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they went out and toured again, I guess, in the 80s. I mean, I remember seeing them on like 60 Minutes or whatever getting interviewed. But
well, it was also like I remember the Beach Boys had a resurgence, right?
Kokomo, yeah. Brought them back.
Yeah, and then they were on. They were even on Full House. I remember there was like a whole arc where they were on Full House, and that was when Uncle Jesse was getting married or something.
I think even now, the remaining Beach Boys that are alive, the ones that go out and tour, I think sometimes Stamos plays with them still. Like,
really?
Yeah, my mom saw him at Ravinia, which is like a concert thing in Chicago, and John Stamos was the special guest with him. I was like, I didn't even know he did music. I thought that was just a sitcom bit.
John Stay Moist.
Word.
Oh man, it's getting it's getting crazy with the monkey talk again. Russell says he loves Nick Cage and Drive Angry. Nice. Just happy we got an alien film. Yeah, let's hope it's done right for sure. Yeah, I can't wait. Jamie says, for what I saw, they did more than right. Made my skin crawl. Was it the face huggers like running everywhere? Yeah, because I know that I was like, oh man, seeing all those face huggers come running at people, I was like, man, that's nuts. In reverse, Liam.
Yeah, shout out to Liam. Kills in bits and bits and bits.
Yeah. I same thing. I just hope we get. It's not. I just hope that all the best parts are not there. Like, or we haven't seen the best parts. And that's the thing too. Like, I always benefit of the doubt. I always like to think like it's, parts they're just like piecing together for a trailer, and that they're not even going to show that. That's part of deleted scenes or something like that. So hopefully, we'll see. So Don's actually home, cute puppy.
That's another monkey song. Home, where never mind.
Brody says, "Hey guys, I'm back, but yes, I did learn communication breakdown on drums. Led Zeppelin. Nice.
Oh, that's right. And Brody's here, and I completely forgot to keep me from my caca. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Are you threatening me?
Good night, y'all. Now watch someone. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Russell, my man. Thank you so much for always coming by, brother. You're always here, even if you're not here. You're always with us in spirit, good sir. Thank you so much for always coming by and hanging out with us.
You're the bollocks. I'm assuming us, but it could also be the monkeys. I can't tell.
And Echo's here. I have
Echo. Cha 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 cha. Zero.
And Lamonia's not giving up hers.
Ask nicely. She will.
They leaned into the comedy way too much for She-Hulk. I needed to be taken a little more serious. Yeah, that's what I heard too. It was more of like a I don't know. It was like some sort of like, so like at the end it's kind of like a sort of what, fourth wall breaking. She shows up at the writer's room and starts like,
I did hear that part where people were like, once it broke the fourth wall, it went extra crazy, and I was like, what's going on with She-Hulk?
yeah. I was just like, I don't know what's going on with that show. I just would see stuff and people would review it, and then I'm just like, ugh,
Do you
damn it.
have Disney Plus?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. So I had it for a while before they had really started pouring on the Marvel and Star Wars shows. So I saw that first Mandalorian stuff where maybe the first 2 seasons with Baby Yoda
Hmm.
and all that. But then after that, I'd gotten rid of Disney Plus.
Hmm.
And yeah, so much has come since then with the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe that I'm intimidated now. It's like I'm like 5 months behind on all that. Like if I between the Acolyte and Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that other stuff that's on there, not to mention, like I say, Moon Knight and She-Hulk and uh, the Hawkeye show and WandaVision and all that. So like, there's so much for me to watch that I'm like, I feel overwhelmed by it.
Well, from what I've seen, I'll tell you right now, what if you were to get like a get it or something, don't watch Hawkeye, don't watch WandaVision, don't watch Acolyte. Um,
Acolyte's getting killed. Everybody says Acolyte is the worst.
yeah. Uh, don't watch She-Hulk. The Falcon Winter Soldier, don't watch that. That's crap. Also, the ones I would watch Andor. Definitely check out Andor.
Oh yeah,
People
her Andor's good.
people crap on Obi-Wan. There's some parts that, yeah, it's worth the criticism, but there's a lot of cool stuff too. So I would definitely Book of Boba Fett. Watch like maybe the second half of it. Um, yeah, and that third season of Mandalorian, it was like, it was all right. You
Yeah,
know, you can tell that they were starting to. But going back to what you've said many a times, how do you follow up with like season two the way it ends? How can you follow that up? Like
yeah,
season two dragged all us old school, Star Wars fans back into it. But then once the smoke and the tears settled, um, me personally, I was like, well, it doesn't change what's gonna happen in the future with Rise of Palpatine and you know Last Jedi. So, but
yeah.
I'd watch Andor. Andor's really good.
What?
And then for the Marvel side, I mean, check out Moon Knight. Moon Knight's good, and Werewolf by Night, man, that was
That's the
awesome.
other one I wanted to see. Werewolf by Night. Yeah, that's the other one that would have my interest.
Yeah, that one's really good. I was surprised they went there. Like, I'm surprised they actually, made that show, and I wish they would make that a show. You see the giant sized man thing, and they did the effects for it look really cool, and the fact that they shot it was all in black and white. You know, I really dig that. It really felt like an old '50s, like Universal Monsters, or yeah, like Universal Monsters film. That's how it felt.
Hmm.
It's
I'll
like,
give it
so
a
they can
watch
do something good, but
if they want to.
yeah, if they want to. Looks like Leia and Echo are fighting about the gin and juice.
Gin and
It
juice.
says,
The
yes, I
Snoop
have the
Dogg song?
soda. Yeah, I used to say, I used to think when I was a kid, and I was like, is he saying canned juice? But it was gin and juice. So it's like, what is he saying? Canned
Roll,
juice?
rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on canned juice.
Yeah,
Damn, word. All right. I like it.
I've seen orange juice in cans before. So I mean, as a kid, I was like, yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
A lot of actors promoted New Orleans. Has to do with Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, after New Orleans, after Katrina
Oh,
hit, New Orleans needed to be rebuilt. A
new.
lot of a lot of actors wanted to do stuff in New Orleans to try to help the community there get some money back and everything. I remember that.
Let's see. Appreciate you guys. Hey, man, Eric, you're
Call
always
it like
you're
we
always
see it.
cool, brother.
Call it like we see it.
Hmm. Oh wow. So I just suspended my account. Not sure why. I'm trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Damn you, Zuckerberg.
It's his long-standing battle with Elon. Elon is like messing
Well,
with IG now.
yeah, taking it out on Eric isn't that doesn't call that's not called for. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Come on, Don. You like bats with Lou Diamond Phillips?
I've never seen bats actually. It kind of intrigues me. Every time I see the box with the purple and the word bats, I'm always like, might be something I'd watch one day.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I didn't hear good things about it. The cover looks cool. I like the whole silhouette, the colors, and everything. I thought that was always cool, but then I didn't hear it was. I heard not good things. I'm suffering through the heat, but other than that, it's back pain. Oh man, hope you get some rest, Professor, and take it easy. Let's see. Halloween is peeking around the corner. Don, Larry, what was one Halloween prop that really got you in your young years?
Hmm. Hmm. I wish I had it handy. I don't though. I still have it to this day. I've had it for like 30 years. Uh, I think I even use it in. There's a video in my collection. I review the Friday the 13th films, and it's a total weird effect. It's a plastic fake leather glove, and then it's got a severed arm on it, and you put it on your hand like this, so it looks like a leather glove is holding your hand, and it's got an arm off it, and you can kind of like make your hand wiggle, so it's an optical illusion. But
Mm-hmm.
even if you're in the same room with it and I hold it up, people will look at it like, that looks real, it looks crazy. So yeah, it's just a strange optical illusion, but to this day I still get a kick out of it no matter how many times I see it.
I'm trying to think. Um, that's a good question. Man, I have to think on that one. I'd probably have to get back to you on that because trying to think from, I mean, stuff that got me scared, or I know plenty of stuff that freaked me out when I was a kid. But I'm trying to think one that really stood out that I was like, it got me, but I was like, man, that's so cool. I'd have to think about that one. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one, Eric. Let's see. Oh yeah, the face hugger. Yep, yeah, the face huggers, man. That's really creepy. Guy says David Lee Roth had, yeah, when he did California. I
Oh
see. For the longest time, I didn't realize that was a Beach Boys song.
yeah, when he separated from Van Halen, yeah, one of his
Mm.
first ones was California Girls, along with I Ain't Got Nobody. Pretty much don't watch anything according to Larry, right? Larry will not take any of Disney's crap. He will let you know right away. Sucks, sucks, sucks. You're cool. Sucks, sucks.
See, now Eric says Falcon Winter Soldier is not bad. To
That's
me,
one I would be interested because I enjoy those characters. But the
so
show itself, I can't vouch for. I don't know.
the thing, and then that's the thing. Like, what I didn't like, I'll just. I mean, it's not really spoiling anything, but to me, every episode that I would see, it almost felt like Hawk. The Winter Soldier and Falcon, they were almost like a married couple, always bickering back and forth. You know, I did like Baron Zemo; he was cool. I just
Yeah.
didn't like the fact that it became a thing, like a meme of him dancing, like it became a TikTok thing. I thought that was like, here we go. But I
Hmm.
mean, you can't really blame the interwebs for that. You know,
Oh, I will.
looks like Hunter's here. Hey, Hunter, how's it going?
That's a cool ass stoned bear you got there. Hey, Hunter, welcome back. I think he's been here a couple times. That's nice. I enjoy when he pops in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Sipping on canned juice, like Hawaiian, yeah, like Hawaiian punch.
That stuff did slap hard. I will give you that.
Speaking of like,
Way
so
better than Liquid Death.
no, but what about even Lamonia? Since she has uh, she reminded me of the Ecto Cooler. Did you ever see the green one in the can back in the
Oh, I
day?
never saw the can one. I've only seen the boxes.
Yeah, so they had the boxes, but like I think at one point I guess at the pinnacle or at the end of that, they had it in the can. And I always remembered that high C Ecto Cooler, man. It was delicious.
Yeah, not to spoiler it, but I see Jamie's Hart is talking about the canned Ecto Cooler coming up in the chat. So be sure to
Oh,
check out
really?
that. It's just coming up here.
No IG
No
love.
idea for me. Oh, Guy, you get all the love. Guy's the coolest. Guy rocks a fedora better than anyone.
Oh yeah, and I mean, man, he's always like, coming into the chats and like, demanding everybody, drops a like. So yeah,
the,
thank you so much, guy, for always hanging out with us, man.
the
You're
time I watched the Hatchet Boy stream and P. Rich he got sick or something, and then by the end of the show, it was Russell and Guy were hosting the show. I was just like, this is the best ever. So hopefully someday we'll turn on Into House and it'll be hosted by Guy, Liam, and Switch.
hmm That'd be yeah, that'd be interesting, right? It's like you and I start off, well done. How's your day going? And then it's like bars, and then all of a sudden, like, you know,
The takeover, the old Max
yeah,
Headroom takeover thing. That's
Baz
is
is
all right.
on a copy. Canned juice, damn you.
He calls her Ladorka. Echo, trying to take the fight to everybody. Damn you.
Not as bad as your Echo Dork. What? Not as bad as you are, Echo Dork. I think they drank juice straight from the fruit tea.
I could go for some fruit teat, some teat juice. There you go. There's the
Yeah, see,
spoiler alert.
yeah, see. So Jamie knows. She's seen the
So they put it in
drink.
cans, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw that. I for sure saw the drink boxes, and
Yeah,
I know Lamonia's also sitting on some of those Twinkies with the green filling. I've been scouting out Lamonia's stash, but yeah, I didn't know the cans existed. It seems like the cans would last longer. I mean, I think I'm just assuming that aluminum protects stuff better than cardboard. That's my own personal biases, I guess. But
yeah, you would think, right?
yeah, I
But
don't know.
you never know, man.
Never can't tell. What's worse than a face hugger? A butt hugger? I've hugged a few butts in my days. Sometimes, mm-hmm. A good
Any-
a butt hugger is equal. Well, because yeah, if it's attached and then it goes into the hole, kind of like the face, but it's the butt. You know what I mean? That is equally scary. I do agree.
Things could
But
happen.
I'm no stranger to using a cheek as a pillow, so that's a
Yeah,
butt
this
hugger.
they can be comfy. I
Yeah,
mean,
they are for sure.
I don't hate, man. I don't hate.
I don't. Yeah, whatever you got to do to get by. Would a butt hugger create a shitomorph? Uh-oh, another Mexitos production is on the way. I like the way the auto translator thing says it when he does it. It says a Mexitos production. It gets me
Yeah, it's
every
great.
time.
Hey, how's it
Oh,
going?
happiness. Hey, yeah.
How you doing,
Uh,
Prince? He was on Corey's
yeah,
channel last night. How's it
I
going?
saw that
Thanks for
because that
stopping
name
by.
jumped out at me, the formerly the Infinite character. Yeah, Prince, welcome. Nice to see you.
Don Larry, if you could spend a weekend diving into horror with a director, Hitchcock, Romero, Kubrick, who would you pick?
Hmm, that's tough. Because I'm a Hitchcock mark. Like I've seen all 50 of his films. Well, the ones that exist. He has like two silent films, I think. The Mountain Eagle and something else like don't exist anymore. They're gone.
Oh
But
wow.
other than that, like I've seen every Hitchcock because I'm a huge fan. But I'm not sure I would like to kick it with Hitchcock. It seems like he'd be boring as opposed to Romero, who has what, like eight, maybe like 15 films total. Like his oeuvre isn't that huge, but every one would be cool. Yeah, man. I remember in this scene that lady was a total pain in the ass, man. Big, huge glasses. I'd like to kick it with Romero. Kubrick, I like to admire from afar. He seems like he'd be half a dink. Like well, as we
Especially
talked about, yeah, with Shelley Duvall earlier. Yeah, you know what I mean? It seems like
yeah.
Kubrick he would like talk down to me the whole time. What you don't understand is leave me alone, Stanley. Want to play
Yeah.
tennis? No, Stanley.
No stand.
Carpenter. I would kick it with Carpenter. I could spend all
Carpenter.
weekend watching basketball and video games and talking about movies with Carpenter. I could go for that.
I think I would either pick Romero or Carpenter. I think one of
Yeah.
those two. Given that well, not that I feel like if I'm saying what I'm about to say is like, oh, I've known him personally. No, I've met him twice, and I've been able to like talk to him a little bit. So I mean, it's one of those things where like I would like to still pick I would have liked to have been able to pick his brain more about stuff, but since he's no longer with us, Um, but if he was still with us, yeah, I mean, it would probably be Romero. I would love to hear like more stories of the making of Night of the Living Dead, and like the Crazies, Dawn of the Dead, like all this stuff.
Well, he's such a cool, like chilling hippie guy, and he's got those big Harry Carey glasses and stuff. It just seems like he'd be a fun dude to hang out with. Like I say,
Is-
Kubrick seems like every third like sentence he would kind of like be half a jerk. Like, how come your ecto cooler is in a can? Everybody knows it's supposed to be in a box. Settle down, Stanley. Your thoughts, Liam? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I concur. You kind of look like George Romero a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. Prince says stuff to see the Sadness and Peninsula. The Sadness. Which one's that one?
I don't know either of those. I thought it
Peninsula
was
is
one.
at the
I thought it was one movie, Sadness and Peninsula.
hmm.
Look at
Peninsula.
Prince
The only one that
turning
I
in.
know, the only one that I can think of Peninsula is the second Train to Busan film.
Oh, that's right. There is a sequel to Train to Busan. Or yeah, okay, maybe that is Peninsula. I never saw that one.
Ludum was Longmire, also several very made for TV HBO movies. I've heard of Longmire. I haven't seen it though. I need to check that one out. Let's see, Don want slime Twinkies. I'd give you some, but you can't eat them.
Well, I think she means that they would make me sick, but I have an iron constitution, so
I was kind of like, we're teetering on the line there. Prince also says, great chat with Corey last night. Good to be here. Nice to meet you, Don. Yeah, no, thanks again for the great questions last night too. I mean, he was rivaling Eric with some really good questions last night. So that's pretty cool, man.
yeah, I saw him
Thank you for
all
coming to
over
hang
the
out with
chat.
us.
He was killing it. That's when when I saw the formerly the Infinite character and his name was Prince. I was like, oh, this all ties together. I'll remember this. So nice to meet you as well, my friend. Liam, say hi to Prince.
It's like he's gonna become the fourth member of the chat. Liam is gonna start hanging out with us. Because I mean,
Yeah,
my cat will switch comes in and then she just like rubs on my legs and I was like, nope, okay, thanks. I'm like, and I can't carry her like you're carrying Liam. Like I try to pick her up and she's just like, nope, she's not having it.
yeah. It's a miracle I didn't throw my shoulder out trying to pick this lug up.
Being in the hospital for so long, my joke of the day isn't regular posting. Oh man, is everything okay, guy? I know you were having issues before. I guess you're still having issues, man. Sorry to hear that. Well, I mean, hope you
Yeah,
get
good
well
guy.
soon.
Send your good thoughts out into the universe for my guy. Guy. You got good thoughts for Guy? Huh? All right.
Jamie says Kubrick all day. Let's see, Professor, are you referring to the dog ship monster?
The Gulga or whatever it's called. I can't remember what its name is.
Yeah, Golgotha.
Golgotha, I think maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Liam?
Sure. What do you think? Mm.
Let's see. Question. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I want to know your wife's favorite Doctor, Larry. So she kind of goes between. She's more Matt Smith fan. She does like Tennant, but she's a bigger Matt Smith fan.
I would say Matt Smith and Tennant are probably most people's favorite, unless you want to go off the beaten path and go with Tom. What's his name from the '70s with the curly hair?
Well, see, my thing was what I was saying yesterday when we briefly talked about Doctor Who was that the only one that I've ever liked was Eccleston.
Oh, okay.
And then when Tennant came along, like because I never saw them as they came out. I started watching them a little bit with my wife because she used to be a huge Doctor Who fan, and so I started watching them with her, and I was like, wow, Eccleston's really good. And then Tennant came along, and I was like, I still like Eccleston. And then, but I always like I like the Doctor Who Peter Cushing films.
Oh, okay.
And then and then I was saying last night, maybe it's because I still see him as Grand Moff Tarkin.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Prince. Yeah, she's more of a she leans more towards Matt Smith, but she also likes Tennant as well. She didn't really like Capaldi much, and she didn't really like the newer Doctors. But yeah, so that's why she used to be a really big Doctor Who fan. Um, let's see, I knew Carpenter would be an easy one. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely Carpenter. I mean, he's just so chill and laid back from what you see from him.
Yeah, he seems like a cool hang. Like, I mean, Kubrick, you could probably learn the most from because he would explain lenses and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
as far as like just hanging out with somebody, have them crash at your house for a weekend. If somebody has to sleep on my couch, I'd much rather it be John Carpenter.
Well, I mean, you'd give him the couch. I'd be like, please, sir, take the bed.
I don't know. I mean, I got lumbar issues. I'm not trying to give Carpenter my bed.
Right? Here's an air mattress, Carpenter.
I'll let him use Liam as a pillow or my butt.
Adorable dog you have there, Don. There you
Thank
go.
you, Prince. Liam, you're an internet sensation as per usual.
The Sadness is a film from 2021. Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at that and look that one up. Uh, oh, it's a hard watch. Oh man. Okay.
But a title like that, I feel like it has to be because it has to live
Yeah.
up to a title like that. You know what I mean?
Is it harder to watch than Requiem for a Dream
Ooh.
or Grave of the Fireflies? That's one that I've only seen once. I can't. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful anime. Great, great, really, really good. I can't watch it. It's rough, man. Don and I have taken over the film class at college and introduced horror. And what five films would you? Oh, that's easy.
Go ahead, lay him on him.
Well, it's gonna be like obviously Night of the Living Dead for me. Um, Night of the Living Dead, The Thing. If I wanted to do old school, I would do either Frankenstein or Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to work some Universal monsters in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so it'd be one of those. It would be one of those two. I would, and the reason being is because of the makeup effects for both. You know,
Mm-hmm.
between the two, Frankenstein's monster and the creature. Um, and then I would have to do something like obscure, like audition. You know, um, that's four. So then I would probably do something fun like Dream Warriors or something like that.
Oh,
Oh no, actually no, I would do American Psycho.
oh, interesting. Um, I'd probably start with Nosferatu and use that as the foundation to build up to because I've said before I have a complicated relationship with Nosferatu, so I could do a whole semester of talking about all the things going on with it, things that I love, things that I hate, stuff that back and forth, all of it. So, um, but it lays the foundation for all the horror to come. Like it establishes that practical effects and particularly makeup works so well on film as opposed to stage because you can cut around seams and so. Um, I think there's a lot to do there. For a Universal Monsters film, yeah, I don't know. I might go Dracula. I might go Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's a toughie. I would probably pick a slasher, which is tough because I would think maybe Halloween, but Black Christmas is right there. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably do Carpenter The Thing. It's just it's too iconic not to discuss
Mhm,
just the paranoia and the because it also works as a body snatcher film. Like you can talk
mhm.
about the invasion of the body snatchers and all that. Um, I don't know. I'd have to have something probably giant monsters. Um, maybe I don't really think of Kong as horror, but a lot of people do. Like it's listed as a horror film, but I don't think of it as. I think of more of a disaster film than a horror film.
So what
Um,
about Jaws then? Would you
yeah,
interchange
Jaws.
that?
Yeah, Jaws is probably there because it makes people terrified of the water. Like it messes up a whole generation of people after that. So, but I feel like Jaws and Creature from the Black Lagoon are strangely sort of cousins because of the water stuff. So
Hmm.
maybe I would go like Frankenstein or Dracula and then use Jaws as my fear of the water movie. But yeah, most of the iconic ones that we all know and think of. Sadly, nothing within like the last 30 years or so. Evil Dead 2 would probably be in there. Evil Dead 2 I could see, because that's so, the ability to use the like fancy camera work and editing and effects to tell your story for horror. Generally, horror is very subdued and slow, not up tempo and crazy like Evil Dead 2 is. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just named like 10. So I've broken the mandate already, Eric. I apologize.
I'm sure he's fine with that, man. Let's see. What have I missed? Eccleston is underrated doctor. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I wish they would have. He would have come back for another season. That would have been great. Echo says, when watching Peninsula, try not to watch it as a Train to Busan movie. You might end up comparing to Busan, not liking the movie. I can see that.
Busan was amazing. Like when I watched it, because it's a very basic ass story, just a zombie movie. But the fact that you then mix in the whole thing with the father trying to learn how to be a father to his daughter and all that, like there was so much emotional weight poured into the zombie movie that I don't know, it really was a complete film as far as being able to think about it and have some emotion to the characters and everything.
Mm-hmm. Sherman Doctor Who binge with Tennant and Capaldi was great. Cool. Oh yeah, I haven't seen any of the Capaldi one. Well, I haven't really seen much of the Matt Smith ones either. I kind of, me and my wife need to go back and like binge watch it. But we haven't. We just haven't. There's so much stuff, like so many shows and everything that we need to go back to. Prince, he's an underrated actor too. Yeah, Purple Rain.
Uh-huh.
Bet
Purify
dance.
yourself in the lake of the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Don, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but can you give me your 4 favorite films? Oh,
That's tough. Kong, King Kong. I'd probably go Kong, Escape from New York, Empire Strikes Back, and then the fourth one changes on the day and the mood. Because today it might be, who knows, whatever. But then it might be Raiders of the Lost Ark, might be Jaws, might be, who knows. There's so many I could mix in there for that fourth one. But I would for sure. I like Escape from New York a lot, because that one I saw it just the perfect age for Escape from New York to touch me. So it's scary because it's in the dark and those people come out of the sewers, and Isaac Hayes is the Duke of New York, #1, all that stuff. I dig that. So, but thank you for putting me on the spot, Prince. That's nice of you.
He also says, "Oh, and I would love for you to react to my 4 favorites: The Crow, Tron Legacy, Guns Akimbo, and Watchmen Ultimate Cut."
Oh, wow. Nice. I watched The Watchmen on my channel as a watch along. Larry and I have discussed The Crow many times because it's such a powerful film. I'm a big fan, actually, of the original Tron. I know Tron Legacy is really visually kind of amazing, but the original Tron, as far as like being caught in a video game and the idea that like random access memory, is a character, not just stuff like that, even as a child, kind of blew my dumb mind. So that's another one. I love Something Wicked This Way Comes. I saw that as at just the right age, and it takes place in the town I grew up in. So it means more to me than it does the average person. So,
but yeah, friends. I mean, we said it last night. I love The Crow, Tron Legacy. I love that film.
yeah,
Guns Akimbo. I need to watch it. Yeah, great soundtrack. Daft Punk. Man, I love that. In fact, I was listening to the score earlier when I was at work. Guns Akimbo, I need to watch, and Watchmen Ultimate Cut. I don't think I've seen the Ultimate Cut. I think I've only seen the. I think we talked about this too, Don. I need to check out the Ultimate Cut, but it's like, how long is it? It's like,
I believe that's the one that has the what's it called? Tales of the Black Freighter or whatever. Like it's basically just like the graphic novel. So it's got everything. It's the entire movie plus the interstitial cuts of the Tales from the Black Freighter and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I would have to dig that. I also just remembered Usual Suspects is one of my all-time favorite movies, so that might fall into that fourth spot too. I'm gonna leave that fourth spot as a reserved parking for who gets there first.
Yeah, because then you can Lebowski.
Yeah. Oh shit, Lebowski. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. There's the 4. Raiders, Empire Strikes Back is always right there in the top 4, no matter what. But yeah, I'm That's a tough one. Narrowing it down to 4 is a rough ride.
And then a guy says, Grave the Fireflies, watched that recently, something geeky in my collection. Yeah, it's like I said, yeah, guy knows. Thoughts on Axel F. I haven't seen it yet. Um,
Now, I thought that was going to be a show. It's a movie?
yeah,
See,
it's
I
a
thought for some reason it was going to be a series, and then I saw it was on Netflix splash page the other day, and it said, an hour and 52 minutes or whatever. And I was like, oh, apparently not. So I don't know. But that original Beverly Hills Cop was an awesome film, so I would be down for watching that.
I like part 2. I don't know. I really like part 2.
You were named after Purple Rain? Dope.
Nice,
That's
nice.
nice. I'm jealous of that one.
Which decade, in your opinion, gave us a? Oh man, that's
Yeah, that's a toughie. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s, so I'm partial to it.
hmm
But when I went back later and watched a lot of the 70s stuff, there was so much there to mine from. And then, pre 70s into the, mid to early 60s is when you get the black and white stuff. And, everything prior to that. Black and white really works for horror because of the use of shadows and everything. So that's a toughie. I would probably say 80s just because that's personally dear to me. But
yeah.
I noticed he doesn't say 90s, thousands, tens, or 20s.
I mean, it's hard because you know, I mean, you got good stuff in the 70s. Dawn of the Dead, Halloween. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I Texas Chainsaw, Jaws. I mean, Black Christmas also, right? Is 70s as
Yeah.
well. I mean, there's so much good stuff there. It's just kind of like, man. But I feel like everything ramped up in the 80s. I mean, The Fog, the Blob remake, The Thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
pick your poison for Freddy, Jason. You know, um,
Well, even
yeah,
something like
man,
Poltergeist, or
yeah.
there's so many like good movies in the 80s. But I've also noticed that the movies people tend to love the most are stuff that they saw when they were a kid, and then
Mhm.
stuff that they saw in their late teens, early 20s. Because when you're a kid, everything is new, so it's the first time you've seen anything like that. So it's like, that's amazing, even though they've probably done that all sorts of times throughout the history of film. But then
Well,
when
it's like
you're in your teens and 20s, your mind's a little more awake, so you can sort of dissect things better. So those are the two eras. No matter who you are, when your life falls in that, you'll really dig it. And so,
when I was with Matt doing Shivers. It's like I saw Shivers and it was giving me Dawn of the Dead vibes, and that's another one from the 70s, and it came out
mhm,
before Dawn of the Dead.
mhm.
So there you go, another one from the 70s.
Yeah,
Uh,
Cronenberg is amazing.
mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you got also the Fly in the 80s too. I mean, there's it's just the Dead Zone.
Yeah, I've mentioned
Like,
before, I'm a big fan of the Dead Zone.
yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just that's a hard one. I'd have to go with the 80s for sure.
All right, then, Liam.
I guess we'll start wrapping it up here because it's
Yeah,
already, man.
Liam just left me. He's done. His appearance is done for the days, guys.
But speaking of, Prince said, Crow was his introduction to the '90s. I mean, what a movie to introduce you to the '90s. I mean, it's a great one. Don Larry, if you went in a Tron direction, if we went in a Tron direction but gave it a horror makeover, oh man, that'd be good. I'm already like liking the question. What would be a good horror movie that could serve as a video game movie as well? Dead
I mean,
Space.
Dead Space. There you go. Um, See, they've already made Resident Evil and Silent Hill, which are like my two favorite horror video games probably of all time. Because those like legitimately would make you jump. You'd be playing them, you turn off all the
Mhm.
lights, then something would happen, and it would like freak you out a bit. But I already think of them as films. But if you're going to be trapped in one, like I could see Silent Hill rework as a person getting sucked into the game and having to navigate within the game. Same with Resident Evil, like something, the first one or the second one, like somebody wakes up in a house confused and they're like, am I in a video game? Like, I
Mhm.
don't know. But
Yeah, but
Dead Space, yeah,
yeah,
Dead Space is a winner for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Favorite boutique label criterion for me. Hmm.
I would say, yeah, probably Criterion or Shout Scream Factory, Shout/Scream Factory, whatever. Um, yeah, that's probably my faves.
Yeah, I like Shout Factory. I mean, I get a lot of stuff from Shout Factory, or Scream Factory, so I'd probably
Yeah,
have
it's,
to
I
say.
mean, Shout/Scream Factory, whatever.
Oh, Marty came back. He says, Don, director, before it was hired, Willis O'Brien, he wanted to put a Komodo dragon against a silverback gorilla for King Kong, but nixed the idea not because it was cruel, but the Komodos kept dying in transit. Oh, wow. This
Yeah, I didn't know that. Hmm, interesting. Because I
medium
mean,
rare.
they medium rare. That's I like medium. Larry likes is a little more pink than me, but other than that, yeah. But well, also with the Kong though, there's that stuff on Skull Island that Peter Jackson really exploits in his version of it. You know, the whole stuff with Kong being dominant over all the other creatures and fighting the old, dinosaurs and all that stuff. So I could see the Komodo dragon stuff being involved in that.
Hmm. I'm gonna speed through these because yeah, there's a, we're gonna have to like we're going
Yeah,
overtime.
we're 20 minutes over time. I like it.
Yeah, so Mel Mutants here. How you doing, good sir?
Hey,
Thanks for stopping by, my friend. The term for passing lizards off as dinosaurs is old movies had a term called slur.
Slurposaurs.
Hmm, didn't know that.
I know a few women I would call that, but you're a slurposaur, Debbie. All right.
Miller says, 80s gave us the best horror, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely.
Well, the 80s and early 90s also fall into a real like specific time in film because that's when they reach the peak of practical effects, and then in the mid 90s and thousands is when CGI takes over. So you kind of get the pinnacle of practical effects in those 80s, early 90s films that, they're some of the best looking horror movies ever made because they do it right.
Mhm. Done. So apparently you look like Joaquin Phoenix.
I'll take it.
Was gone for a bit. I forgot I had to put a video together for tonight. Oh well, I mean, Sean, you're always here in spirit, brother. I mean, it's cool, and we're going overtime right now. I know y'all are gonna have a stream here in a bit, so definitely check out Sean's stream coming up. Oh, let's see. Nice Crows Classic. Mellow, did we have some good ones? We did have some good ones in the 70s, offer up some scary stuff. But yeah, 80s is definitely. Give me a new movie for the game Dune. Yeah, Doom. Sorry,
Doom, yeah.
a good one.
That one with The Rock is a bit of a letdown, but yeah, I would have liked to seen a proper Doom film if they would ever got around to it. I mean, just the idea of a first-person shooter in hell is pretty dope.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I got off to. Oh man, pink eye. Ugh, that's rough, man.
He works in a hospital. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Let's see. Fatal Frame. Yeah, Fatal Frame would be a good one too. That would be nuts. Did you ever hear
Sounds
about that?
familiar.
Did you ever
No,
play that game? So
no, it's a new
basic.
one to me.
So there's no weapons or anything. It's basically, you know, you there's this camera that you have, and you take a picture, and like a ghost appears. Really,
Hmm.
really creepy, man. It's really good. Yeah, that would be a. Oh man. Yeah. So like Professor Macabro, he actually put it pretty well. It's in a haunted mansion. You have to beat ghosts by taking pictures of them with a magic camera. It's really good. Like I think he trapped the ghosts in the pictures or something like that. Yeah, really creepy, man. It's really good stuff. It actually has a lot of Ring vibes, the way it looks, but like the Japanese, the Ringo, like
Mhm.
yeah, it's good stuff, man. Brutal Mellow. My favorite video game was Need for Speed 2. I never played that one. Hope all goes well with it. Yeah, yeah, man. I've had pink eye once. That's rough, man. So,
Did you get the crusty eye close? I had it once, and that's the same thing. I woke up one day and I was like, "Why won't my eye open?" Apparently,
it was
Popeye all of a sudden. Yeah.
and I had to peel it. I'm like, oh my god, I was freaking out, man. Hope the video comes out good for you, Sean. Uploading tonight. Brisson. Yeah, some medication clear up. Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, if
Maybe.
you get the right medicines, you can clear up pink eye pretty quick. It's usually just a minor infection that'll sort itself out. But it sucks when you first have it and your eyes all itchy and red and all that. Like the crustiness, like we mentioned.
Maybe in October we can have Don Larry square off in a hard. Oh man, as long as you're on live with us, yeah, definitely. As
Yeah,
long
for
as you're
sure.
on with us, Eric, definitely for sure. You can be the Spitfire on and then Professor Macabre will be the judge. Bring the link to King Kong.
Yeah, yeah, and Dead Alive, the Peter Jackson movie, the Sumatran rat monkey comes from Skull Island. They mention it. That's like a foreshadowing that Peter Jackson then will direct Kong later because he loves it so much.
Yeah, guys. Again, tonight, Sean will be streaming tonight here soon. So yeah, we're gonna have to get.
What
We're
are
gonna
you
have to wrap
watching
this up.
tonight, Sean? What's going on tonight?
The Raid, yes, love Raid, and I love Part Two. Very, very good martial art films. I mean, those are great. Have you seen those done? The Raid?
Yeah. Is there more than two of them? Because I've seen two of the Raid
No,
films.
there's only two. I wish they
Okay.
would make a third one, but I don't think they said that they at one point they said they were going to, but then it just been hasn't happened. But no, those movies are man, those movies are awesome.
Yeah, as far as like good up tempo fast action films, those are amazing. Good karate and all that.
So yeah, Duke Nukem 3D. What's going on,
Oh,
Caveman?
Sean's watching Manhunter tonight. All right, nice.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Tekken, nice. I grew up Tekken, Street Fighter. Yep, same here. I loved Killer Instinct. Wrap this up like a burrito. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrap it up like a burrito.
Oh, Johnny's here. He's like, all right, guys.
Oh, God. Nice to see you.
Well, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Everybody saying hi and talking about Ongbak. I never saw that one.
Yeah,
I heard it was.
I worked at a video stores when that came out, and I used to say, I had to leave, but I'm back.
So, with that, guys, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And yeah, another great episode. Don, do you have anything you want to promote or it's coming up or anything on your channel?
um, Nah, let's see. Next week, In the House should be on my channel, assuming everything goes good. I'm going to be traveling again next week, so hopefully I'll be able to locate a secure position on Friday evening for me to have this. But otherwise, we'll work out something. But Tuesday, I'm back on Mr. Bones' channel. We're going to be watching X this time as part of our breakdown of the Ty West trilogy. There, yeah, as our friend Lay says, X gonna give it to you. What about you, my friend Larry? What you got going on? Anything cool, interesting?
I got to. Well, I got to see you about this NECA bitchin' stream that Marty was talking about. We got to see when we're gonna do that.
Yeah, you
Still
guys are
got
gonna
to.
spill the neck of tea.
Yeah, still got to see when we can do brain scan, man. Hopefully next weekend, maybe next Saturday. I got some stuff coming up too that I might have to travel. So we'll see. We'll see if that. We'll see how that happens. When that happens. If not, we can always, as long as it's on Tubi, we can probably do it next month. Because we're getting close to like already, man. We're halfway through the month. But other than that, hopefully a couple reviews on figures and some other stuff coming up. I got some new stuff that came in, so watch out for some shorts on that. And then yeah, next week we'll be on my man Don's channel. We're in the house
More like
23
Liam's channel. He's the new boss around here.
in Liam's house.
He's like, leave me alone.
He's like, "Aw." And to end it off, guys, thank you all so much for always hanging out with us. And yeah, definitely, truly appreciate each and every one of you all. Definitely will more than likely be in the chat on Sean's channel. So go ahead and head over there and check out his stream coming up in probably like another 30 minutes or so. Beyond that, guys, have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. And I'm going to leave it off with.
I've got a date at midnight with Nosferatu. Ooh, look at there. The Lair sounds like it's going to be back.
Everybody have a good weekend. Have a good night. Don, any last words?
have a happy or a great spring season, and and I wish you all green grass and high tides forever. You too, Liam. You too.
Bye,
Adios,
guys.
amigos.